You feel good? I can turn you up or down.
I can hear Johnny.
I mean, I wouldn't say I feel good, but it's not because of this podcast or anything we're doing. It's just the way I'm fucking built, you know.
The way you're built.
Just because you're jammed
12-year-old boy
in there.
Your shoulders are built like something R. Kelly would chase after.
But wouldn't you want that if you're giving birth?
What's that?
Just this like pencil dive out of the vagina.
That's a good point.
That's true.
For his mom,
If you're Miss Thompson,
but I was a big motherfucker. Like I was like back when you're a baby, you're not bony. You're a big hunk of, you're a big log of shit. You know what I mean? You're just a rolling.
You still are a big log of shit.
Guess I walked into that one, didn't I?
So we got Johnny Mitchell, Griff Pippin, and Tasha Courtney. I'm Dave Neal.
Hello.
We're saying hi to our Taiwanese people. What were we just talking about before we turned the air?
R. Kelly, dude. R. Kelly.
Oh, we're getting right into him.
On his birthday, speaking of R. Kelly, the other day at his birthday in Chicago. This is after all of it dropped. Did you guys see the Instagram? It was girls at his
Talking
birthday.
to the mic. I know it's your first
Can
time
we hear me?
using
Can
a
we hear me?
microphone.
Yeah, you're good.
The chicks were fair enough. Chicks were screaming, "Kidnap me!"
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah, black dudes have way more game.
That's
okay,
not
a fucking
true.
white dude could
That's
not
true.
pull that off.
Women do like the captor thing until
Right.
as long as it's not like for real. I feel like because like we were watching Penn Badgley in the new Netflix show You. It's called You, and on the show he did you hear that feedback?
Yeah.
Fucking feedback. Hold on a second. Is it there? I think we can deal with it. I think it's just
I don't hear
cans.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I bought a
I
new
hear
system
it.
because we had it last
But
week.
I only have my left ear.
You'll be
Yeah, I
fine.
might only have
Okay.
my. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I'll fix it in post, as they say. Penn Badgley, he's a stalker in the show. Not spoiling anything. He's a stalker, and women are losing their mind over it. They're getting super wet thinking of like this cute guy stalking them.
Yeah.
And it makes you think that a lot of it has to do like charm and creepiness is all dependent on if you find the guy attractive.
Fine line.
It's a fine line, isn't it?
That's true.
that.
That's very
Is it not
true.
a fine line, Tasha?
I mean, I don't know.
You're telling me you wouldn't
Every girl's
get
a little different.
Hot
I
take.
guess.
I mean, you want somebody who like pursues you, but you don't want someone that murders your friends. Like there's a difference there.
No, there's a fine line between stalking and murdering. Those are way different felonies.
Is
You know what I mean?
stalking just a really high level of thirst? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just really thirsty?
That's how you had to like. That's how you met women back like in the day. You know,
150
you followed them
years
home
ago?
and you knocked on their door and
What
you
they
asked
call
them
it,
to the
like
dance.
you were a suitor. You were
Right.
you were courting
You were
them.
courting
courting
Yeah.
them. You
yeah,
had
I
to be
think the
creep.
difference is like, does know me know?
Yeah, but
You know,
sometimes
like-
But back in the day,
Not then.
there was no
listen,
option.
if
really,
no
for
meant
women,
no,
you know?
we wouldn't be dating because you've rejected me several times.
Oh.
At least a handful. You were like, wouldn't it be weird? This
He
is what we're
stalked
doing.
you. He's
and I was like,
persistently stalked you, and it worked.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did.
Well, did I ever lay down the law and say no?
No, but
I don't think so.
but
I think
Did
I
you
was,
ever
like,
get, did you ever get
subtle
the
little-
law involved? That's the other.
no threats for the law.
these
No,
are
we take it
zingers.
on our own.
Wow.
These are called zingers.
Wow.
So this
I'm
is our.
great at
This is
top-notch
actually
comic
our
right here.
Valentine's Day
headlines
episode.
in Palm Desert.
And you open for me.
What I like about this is we've got roommates on the podcast. This might be our first podcast with roommates. We're roommates, but you know what I mean, like other like guys that don't sleep in the same bed. You know what I mean?
You don't?
That I know of. I don't know the situation.
Well,
Guy
we're
comes in drunk at night. You better watch out.
we're former roommates, but now we're building mates.
I booked you guys because you were roommates.
Hold on. No. We have plenty of roommate stories.
We're fresh out. We're fresh out the roommate thing.
He did teach me a valuable skill the other night while living with him, and I'm very grateful for it.
Good
Which is what?
transition.
So I met my girls, and I had eaten a big shawarma dinner the night before, and the next morning I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm feeling it. I'm not going to fart in front of her, and I'm like, oh, dude, I got to take a shit. I'm like, no, I'm not shitting at her place. No way, because it's bad. She's going to fucking leave me for the, fuck, dude. I'm like so nervous. I'll hold it in. All right. Start tying my shoes. I'm like, going to get out of there. I'm like, no, dude, no way. I'm going to shit in the car. No way. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. Now, thank God I live with Johnny because he taught me something from being in prison. So basically, when you're in prison and you're in like the jail cell with all the other guys.
A few things, actually.
Yeah, basically, when you start to shit and it crowns and it hits the water, immediately flush the toilet and it doesn't stink. Because if you didn't do that,
I've heard that
the guys would
before.
beat the shit out of you if you didn't flush the toilet immediately. So I'm like, okay, I'll try Johnny's prison tactic. And I'm in there like about to like ruin my relationship with this shit. So I immediately flushed the toilet about 4 different times. And she's like, you okay in there? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I finish.
Just testing out the pressure on this toilet.
So I finish after 4 flushes. I get out. I'm like, dude, that's not bad at all. I'm like, I got to thank Johnny right there. Living with him as a roommate.
So you don't let
he
it
gave me this
marinate?
prison technique. Yeah, you don't let
But
it
that's like
marinate.
the
You don't want it to
Exactly.
sit like above the
That's
water.
like the secret.
I just raised her water bill, but she's not going to leave.
That's a Secret Service move. That's like when Obama's leaving the speech and they bring him right to the door of the car and get him out. That's like your shit was literally like, you got to go, and you just pass it out. Maybe not.
Dude, it's awesome, man.
Thank God you didn't teach her that other prison trick. Rape.
Pushing back. It's not rape if you push back. Yeah, so I'll mention it when I intro this, but we've got both
Oh,
of
we
you
even
guys.
haven't started the show yet?
No, we're on it, but I'm gonna do, and I'll come back and I'll come back
I'm
and
like, damn.
That's how
What
that's how
happened
the
on-
audience feels when they see your act, Johnny.
I'm like, what happened?
You're like, that's my time. They're like,
we
it
just
was?
burned all those zingers? Fuck, that's all I got.
Oh.
You're very kind to each other, but you're both killing it out there, might I say. I've seen you guys a few times in proper comedy club venues, and you know when you see your friends, like we kind of come up. No, we didn't come up together, but we're still finding our legs and this and that.
Yeah.
But like you see a proper stand-up set of one of your friends, and you go, oh, they got it under control. Because when we're practicing and stuff at these open mics, we're just throwing shit at the wall in front of other comics.
Yeah.
It's fun to see other comics perform in front of real audience members.
Yeah, it's a different animal, dude.
Which
it
sounds
really is.
It's only in LA that we're even talking about. Anywhere else you'd be performing in front of real comedy, but in LA you're like, oh, in front of real comedy you got laughs.
Wow. I know. How sad is that?
Very sad.
Yeah. Like if you get like 8 local gigs a month in LA, like like you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, you got 2 shows a week.
Yeah.
Like you
have a
how
show
fucking
on
crazy
Netflix
is that?
to get that.
It's brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was listening to Gaff again on some podcast yesterday, and he's talking about like starting in the early 90s, like when Attell and Louis and like Todd Barry in New York, they were already like the guys 5 years ahead of them.
Yeah.
He's
Hey, sweetie,
saying it was just as
talking to the
brutal
mic,
too.
sweetie.
Well, what the fuck? I can't be natural if I got to be fucking bending down like this. I feel like I got a
Wait,
dick
move
on my
your
nose.
thing down. Do you want to move it down?
Oh.
But the
Does that
old
help?
comics like Louis C.K. they would talk about
I'm
being
like eating it. I'm literally, it's touching my fucking lip. This is how I get sick.
You're
Anyways.
gonna have a sore neck at the end
Well,
of.
it's okay because this won't be the first time he's contracted.
Louis C.K. They
something.
used to talk about like he'd be on his motorcycle zipping around doing spots, and you'd get $25 a spot, and by the end of the night, you do 8 spots, so like or in a
make
weekend
a living in city.
in city, and here it's
Yeah.
like, look, that
Go fuck
ain't
yourself.
gonna.
Well, that
happen.
was during the boom, That was
Yeah.
like the first comedy
And New
club
York
boom.
still
But
has
like,
that.
what's the difference? Like, why did they just decide that it was cool to not pay comics anymore? Like, why was he getting $25?
It's supply and
Greasy
demand.
business.
It's supply and demand. No,
Yeah.
So
it's
there's-
When there's a
demand.
million comics that want that one spot, they know they don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Yes, supply and
And you
demand.
could argue that at this stage, I'm not comparing any of us to them, but at this stage, like a 5th-year comic, or I'm 7 years, like we're
Living.
probably a lot. Like you hear, like Brian Regan's like, yeah, I was touring on my 3rd year, and by 7, and it's like that's just not how it is out here. So don't compare yourself to the 30-year vets, because the demand for stand-up in the 90s, like comedy clubs were popping up all over. Tasha, it'd be like if you were like, the only model in town, and there's all these campaigns, like your phone would be ringing off the hook, you'd be making a fortune, versus like, now it's like you've got like these 18-year-old bimbos that pop up with an Instagram following, and you got to compete against that shit, like,
Well, if Tasha went to Kyrgyzstan or something,
Can you imagine it? Yeah.
killing it.
Can you imagine if Natasha was in like a Peruvian village? You know
call
what I
her
mean?
Natasha, it's Tasha only.
That's okay.
You're not named Natasha?
I'm not Natasha.
Holy shit. Your parents had the gall to name you just Tasha?
Just
a black girl's
plain
name.
Tasha.
You're not
that's
getting
fucking
soap after
crazy.
that. You're not getting free soap after that.
Wow.
We
That's
went
a
to a-
showbiz name, though. If you want your kids to fucking make it in showbiz, just name them Tasha. You know?
Thank you.
It's only Russians and black chicks in Tasha. They're the only ones. We at the car rental
Right,
in
right.
Cincinnati the other day. It was a black chick named Tasha
Yeah.
and my white Tasha, and you guys were just friends.
Every black woman that helps you out at a car rental place is either Quiche, short for Keisha, or Tasha.
yeah,
You're right.
that's it.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's always
or maybe a Melanie.
and
Maybe
it's
a
always
Melanie.
the same chick working for 7 different car rental companies.
Right.
She's like, "What do you need? Payless, Enterprise, Hertz,"
I
and we're like,
actually really want to know how that works. Like, are they all under the same umbrella? Like, who's paying the
They're
girl?
actually related.
But like that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, Valentine's Day is around the corner. So what's going on,
compelling.
Griff? You got a relationship, Johnny? You're single.
Nothing.
You got nothing?
Nothing.
Are you?
I went on a date
uh,
last week. Went over budget, so
Oh, wait, I want to hear about
I
this.
can't date for the next 2 or 3 months till I recoup that.
Did you at
Or
least
recoup
get?
that
Did you
money.
get it in, or was it just?
No, hell no, I didn't get it in.
So
bro.
what's over budget?
Oh,
Like
he
you
couldn't if
wined
he
and
wanted
dined her?
to.
Yeah, and I thought I liked her, and then now I realize I don't. So it's like I should have tried to get the pussy that night, right?
I love how he says it. The pussy.
But I mean,
like a creep.
I was raised amongst
Yeah, you're a felon. What are you going to do?
You get it. So, yeah, but no, I was eating. I took a whole pizza to the face last night.
Out of like depression.
Good pizza?
No, not depression. I was writing a bunch, but I'm staying in. You know, I'm tucked in. I'm working on my book. Yeah, you fucking. You're supposed to come up and have a slice with me, dude. That was disrespectful. That was fucking disrespectful.
Let me tell you guys this: as a guy in a relationship, I get so envious. Like love. I can love my relationship and all that. I can love all of that, but the side of me that wishes I could have a pizza by myself and write a book, a fucking book, bro.
You can.
I can't back
you can do that at Barnes and Noble.
Like, what are you doing on your phone? I can't.
You can do that at Barnes and Noble by yourself.
Yeah.
You
Thank
can't write. You can't write a book
Stop
at Barnes and
having
Noble.
excuses.
Here's
If you're a sociopath, you can.
Listen,
No, that's Starbucks.
I'll
dude.
say what my
Those cats
limitations are.
It's become the public library.
You can
Starbucks.
park yourself in one of those chairs in a quiet corner in Barnes and Noble for sure.
Find a public library downtown. Those little old, decrepit ones. And
The problem with Starbucks is they
one
won't
downtown
kick
is
anyone
really
out anymore.
nice.
Exactly. You don't have to buy anything. You can use the bathroom and free internet. It's the public library. It's the new public library.
I'd rather you have to pay $2 to use a bathroom because now my price point for like shitting, every time I open a Starbucks bathroom, I'm expecting somebody's
Obviously.
giving birth or something.
Obviously.
looks like someone just. I mean, it's like a pinata,
That's-
white pinata
yeah.
exploded with toilet paper everywhere.
That's what they do in South America and third world countries. It's like
Yeah.
you want to use the shitter, it's going to be a quarter.
Yeah.
It keeps
Yeah.
the riffraff out.
But they do that in Europe too.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I talk about white privilege, I talk about being able to walk into any hotel and take a shit. I mean, I've never been
that's
denied
true.
a
That's
shit
true.
ever.
I saw a funny meme. Do you ever see it? It's like Peter Griffin holding up this like tone scale of different colors. One of them, it's like white, and it's like kind of like darker, all the way to black. And one of them is just, it's like white guy getting through the airport. If it's brown, it's like we need to do a special check on you. And then the other one was white. It's like Walmart grader. You can go through, and if it's dark, it's like I need to see your receipt.
Oh man,
That's what
so
it is.
Real though, it's
Real,
so real.
real.
At least we can acknowledge it and whatever. You know, I want it all to be equal, but
not
look,
light-skinned black guys. Light-skinned black guys got the world.
and
the
hot
world is
chicks
theirs,
aren't
dude.
the same as
Steph
other.
Curry.
there.
Steph Curry didn't deal with
World,
it.
the world
light
world
eyes,
is there.
some
Yeah,
green
blue
eyes.
eyes with a nice fucking
How about
cocoa
The
skin.
felon model. Yeah, that guy.
What's the felon model?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a
What's
real
He's a
guy.
model, so his mugshot
mugshot.
went viral. He's this
Oh,
light-skinned
I saw
black
that
dude.
Yes,
really
he's
handsome
gorgeous,
dude.
gorgeous.
And now
he
he's
just-
like signed by Wilhelmina.
Dude,
that's
huge.
fucking
He's
awesome.
making a really good living as a model. Like he's a top-notch
That's
model.
But that goes back to what we were saying, that women like a bad boy.
Yep.
They like a bad boy, and
Yeah,
you know
they do.
And Johnny, you're a bad boy though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you,
I got a
do you-
lot of pussy
Do you talk
being a
about
bad boy.
having? We mentioned on the last time we were on the podcast, but you were convicted.
That was
you were-
years ago. I was John
know.
the last time I was on
But
here.
you've changed. You've
You
become
were
Johnny.
John?
I'm Johnny. I've more.
Oh, wait a
you
minute.
passed a
You
crisis
did that
level.
for
You changed your name.
showbiz,
I did that for show business.
and you still an open micer.
All right, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, half open
What's
mind.
your you were a convicted felon for selling weed,
Yeah.
which sucks now. It's legal. So
Yeah.
like that must suck that
Uh-huh.
you. Are they gonna like give you back your?
No,
No, you're
no.
not
I
getting
tried to
anything
figure
back?
it out. I always ask my dad. I'm like, can we get these expunged? And he's like, what the fuck? No, I've already. He like yells at me. He's like, no, I've been over this. I've been over this a million times with you. You cannot. You're screwed. Goodbye.
You're an idiot.
But it's all right. We're gonna leave you something when we die. It'll be fine.
Is that part of the name change? So like you're not Googled as a fucking, is that part of it? I mean, Johnny's. A
I
cool
gotta
name.
check
That's
that.
a common
What
name.
pops up first in the Google search engine? Is it my comedy or my fucking rap sheet?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's
I think the more recent stuff, like as things get older, they go further and
Well, he
further.
hasn't
Yeah,
done it. He hasn't
yeah,
done
yeah.
anything.
That's
so
true. I don't
And
know.
so, like, if
it's
you
not
just
going to get
keep
buried.
flooding with like different
With
posts
crimes?
in different places, no, of
Right.
comedy,
Right,
then it'll
right.
be like the
Dude.
first 2 pages comedy.
Dude,
Yeah,
you can
that's
start
true.
filming your
That's
fourth
true.
wall sets just to bury it.
Yeah. I think that's the idea. If they saw that, they definitely wouldn't expunge
But
any of my crimes.
are
dude.
any women? Dogs barking. He's chiming in. Are any women coming up to you after a set, being like, "Did you really get me back in?"
Yeah, but I don't even talk about it on stage like during a showcase set anymore because it's like I got a bunch of other jokes I got to get in, and B
Jokes.
it's just kind of
I
awkward.
disagree with you.
It's just kind of I mean
It gives you something that stands out, man.
100%. But in an 8-minute or a 10-minute showcase set, like it's like at the lab the other night. I think it was your show.
Maybe.
Is it your show?
Yeah.
I had a great set, but I mentioned prison, and I felt the energy. I felt everybody go,
Yeah, it takes
that's
time. It
interesting.
takes time to explain
Like,
it
they're-
all.
No,
You
but
wanna
that's
process,
good though.
like, how
You've
they
got them
feel about
thinking.
it.
You've got them
I don't want
thinking.
you thinking too hard though. Like
Yeah,
you've
you
got
do.
you've got to laugh. It's about laughter first.
You get
Gotta
my
be funny.
attention with that, felon, and then you
I talk
start
about
telling
drug
jokes.
dealing a lot. I talk about selling weed because it's very relatable. Even selling coke a little bit.
You're a
Coke is
businessman.
yeah. So, and they like that.
Entrepreneur.
They're like, oh, that's interesting. You used to sell weed and now it's legal. What is that like? So I got a lot of material off that. But you know, even if I mean, the bad boy is not just the criminal record. You know, it's the whole package. Look, man, I got a fucking army jacket on.
You look
It's
great.
too
I'll
hot.
blow
I'm
you.
sweating.
I've never done a lot of these drugs, and I just it's glorified through Hollywood, like where chicks blowing you for a piece
gram.
of
No. I was a
piece of coke. That's a guy who hasn't done coke. A piece of what'd you do? I had a piece of coke last night. What the fuck?
Yeah, like it's a stick of gum.
Yeah, piece of that coke.
Yeah,
rock.
can I get a slice of your coke, please?
Whatever you.
No, I never sold. I was like, by the end, I was a trafficker. You know, like you couldn't get any drugs.
You're doing
off
higher
me.
ends. You're
You
doing higher
You couldn't
stuff.
get if you came to me for a bag of weed or a bag of coke. Like you couldn't.
You get
Get it.
PTSD from shit like that, from like having coke in your trunk or some shit. Like, you have any? Were there any close calls before you
yeah.
got busted?
Yeah, of course. No, we got pulled over. I remember on the I-5. I just wrote. I finished writing about this in the book, in my great novel. We got pulled over with 10. We were coming back.
It's called a piece of drugs.
We were coming back from Ashland, Oregon, and we were on the I-5. This was like 2 a.m., right? This was the middle of a drought, so we've been searching everywhere. This is back when, literally, by the August, the weed would dry up. There wasn't any weed because it would all be sold from the last harvest, right? So we were coming back. We had 10 pounds of weed in the trunk. It wasn't wrapped properly.
How much
So-
is that? What's
so
the monetary value of that? Like, what's
back
it?
in the-
wasn't wrapped properly.
Back in the day, it was like 20. We were probably paying like $2,300 a pound, and then we'd sell it on the East Coast for like 35.
Nice.
So per pound,
you get like 50% margins. on
exactly.
that.
So you maybe make off 10 pounds, you make
15
like
grand?
12, 15 grand. You do that every
Wow.
week. That's a good.
Jesus
that's real
Christ.
money, dude.
So you
Hold on,
drove
push.
it cross country?
No, we drive it up from Ashland, we package it in Portland, and then we'd ship it off through FedEx or UPS. I'm really giving it all away, giving all the secrets away now.
That's how we sell. That's how we sell our soap. And we don't get returns on it either. We're fucking losing our money. Buy some soap, folks.
You guys, it was
But
cute little.
wait, what's the methodology for like not getting caught? Don't they
Well,
Prayer.
didn't work.
peanut butter? I've heard
No,
that.
no,
like,
no,
you
no.
scoop
Vacuum
out your-
seal.
I can't give it all away because I might if this comedy thing doesn't work out, we might I might revert back to the old. But
snitching's
if it doesn't work out-
people probably get caught more from snitching than they do from actually getting caught. I would assume because they're always trying to find that next level up. From what I've read.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the snitching is a major way to get caught, but also just happenstance. They caught the way I went down. The time that it sent me to prison was they had a drug sniffing dog in a FedEx facility, and it smelled the money. It smelled like I think it was $25,000 in cash.
Oh my
It was in a
gosh.
package, and so they hit on it. The dog randomly, right? Just a random check, and almost every package gets through, right?
Yeah.
It's like any other kind of smuggling. They don't have the manpower to fucking stop and check millions and millions of packages
Hold
that are going
that
through.
thought right now because of the shutdown and all these employees not getting paid and leaving. Now's the fucking time.
Yeah. Of course. Now
if you're
is-
gonna do
of
drugs,
course.
you're gonna ship drugs.
But you know what's
For
funny?
the listeners out there, now's the time
Or,
to get in my business.
or the TSA take over a plane, dude.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Listen.
ram,
Oh, if you're gonna
listen.
be
I got
terrorist.
stopped
Do we
at
do we have any
TSA
do we have any followers in
last
Afghanistan?
week.
If there's ever a time to take over an airplane with box cutters,
Well, this podcast is never getting featured. Patriot Act. They're like, no, we don't think so.
Bring Johnny on one time.
No, I
Sorry.
was like, how everybody
Picked
was
that
saying,
part
like,
out.
it's not safe anymore because TSA is on furlough. They made me take my luggage back out because of a beeswax candle. So,
yeah. It's all
of cucks.
it's complete propaganda horseshit. Like the whole song and dance they do with take your belt off.
no. It's
They've
like-
lost. The terrorists have won. Can we say that?
Sure.
That's just an opinion. I'm not inciting anything. But they've just
He's
won. They're
starting
not
to get
going
an erection right
You know what I
now.
mean? If only.
Well, you know what?
If only we should be so lucky.
Make it all political. The amount of people we've killed with drone strikes. Imagine, these terrorists. 5 years ago, they were being born and their dads were being killed by drones. They're being grown right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like we stopped a wave earlier, but because of stopping that wave, we've grown people that hate and want to kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, folks, subscribe to the podcast. It's about dating and relationships. We're on iTunes.
I thought we were going to talk about dating.
So
Prison dating.
Yeah, well, prison dating. I mean, the
you had some
podcast.
cute boyfriends.
We
didn't
want to
you?
give good and bad dating Valentine's ideas to people, but also if you have any past either Valentine's or bad dates or things that went well, like we want to get our listeners laid and feeling good about life.
Oh.
Like Johnny, we're recording this in mid-January, so you have some time. Do you have Valentine's hopes? Do you try to do the who's around on the night, just like New Year's Eve, like get that quick tail?
Get that you up on New Year's. Get that you up on Valentine's Day.
No, I might smash like some old like played out, but no, I got nothing. I mean nothing.
Well, you got some
plus,
tried and true on the back burn.
Yeah. But I mean, if I have to resort to that, it's just a complete.
Do you think they're on a podcast talking about resorting to you?
I think on a Biggest Regrets podcast.
Yeah, he's like really tall, but he couldn't get it hard. That's every girl talking.
Do you guys
about
go after
Johnny.
the
I got
same
pills for that though.
Do you guys go after the same type of chicks? Like, do you let you guys ever been out and there's like one girl worth hooking up with and it's like which you're gonna choose?
Whatever I pass on to, this is how good of a friend I am. Whatever I pass on, I make sure to funnel it over to him.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's funny.
'Cause
I have a rebuttal to that, which is not entirely what he just said.
What, that you took his rebounds or
No,
you stole
he's
a girl from
brought
him?
two girls over. 2 different occasions he's brought girls over, and they started trying to hang out with me, and one of them went to smoke weed with me and hang out with me outside. And he kept trying to hang out with her, and she was more interested in me. This happened twice. I was in my underwear one time, and this girl came in just looked right at my package and started talking to me, and I was like, I didn't know she was coming over, and Johnny's over here. But I'm glad that first one though, when I was in my underwear, I'm glad that first one didn't work out.
I brought home a female comedian when we were living together, and
is it who I think it is?
No,
okay. no, and
because I know the one that you used to hook up with, and I think that's
yeah. But no, this was different. She's a newbie, right? So I try to clip them when they're brand new.
Listen to this
because then
what
does that mean?
I know. I'm over here going, what does that mean, you pervert?
Before they know better. You get them before they know better.
Right, exactly.
It's
before
like
they know to
fresh
not
meat in
date
college.
comics.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm like the super senior, and these are the freshmen.
I am a comic that a girl in New York knows not to date comics because of, and it doesn't make me a bad guy. She just realized that not every guy wants to have a writing session with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's fair.
Exactly. But I would never say that.
That's not Louis C.K. whipping his dick out because he runs a show. That's like it's like shitting where you eat at the worst. Like you're gonna have to run into them at a mic.
Don't do that anymore.
That's it.
Exactly. But anyway, so it turns out we didn't hook up because she didn't want to, and now we look at her. Now,
she woke up.
That is one way to put it, big
and
guy.
and
that
anyways,
is one way to put it.
That's the only way to put it. Griff.
Yeah.
Stop making me sound like a fucking sexual predator.
I mean, you might
That's
just
exactly
be.
why. We're deep down, who knows? But it's yet to play out. But anyways, but now we've kind of seen her spiraling. Just through basically stalking her on Instagram and looking at her and having a discussion as roommates, we've decided that me not hooking up with her was the best thing.
Best
she's
thing that
pure.
ever happened.
She's just pure trash, right? She's just gross.
And what do you mean?
Gross.
What do you mean by
Admitted to
that?
doing meth multiple
Totally.
times on the first date.
Yeah.
If date is what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Well, you're playing
that's serious. Meth is pretty serious.
Yeah, it is.
Meth is
Especially in
serious.
Kentucky.
She's got those half
serious, yeah.
Well, it's a thing, if you're in comedy, that's the dice you're rolling, that you're going to be dealing with some people that might be really fucked up, and you might be as
Broken.
well, you know? And I think we all have the ability to get past that with time, but I think it's great you're single because you're taking care of your own shit, and when you have the money to buy the house and start the family, the right girl's going to be there for that. But the right girl's
not for him.
It's Dave, and I love your enthusiasm, and I don't want to bring anything down, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's just not in the cards for me.
No.
Okay,
he's dying alone, and
it's
he's accepted
not-
that.
Why do you say that?
it's just not going to happen. Okay,
I don't believe that for a second.
because I'm barely 33 years old, and I love
Can't take care of himself.
I have an apartment. I'm functional.
I bet you
I'm
do.
functional. I
you
work
eat
a
pizza
job
by yourself and get
I'm
upset when your old roommate
I'm
doesn't
writing a
come
book.
upstairs.
I'm booking gigs. I'm doing but I
Date
can't
meth heads?
beyond that.
Yeah.
I can't do. I love being alone so much. It's dangerous. I think back to it. I'm like, I could probably go back to prison and be just fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, here's what
you're
I
giving me
like
my
is-
own cell. I get to take naps whenever I want. Oh,
Tasha's an introvert.
such a weird
Tasha
guy.
likes me to be around, but not next to her. And
I
I
love
think
being alone too. I'm perfectly
So,
fine
like-
being alone. I'm so
Are you an introvert?
capable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
there you
But I
go.
just love my alone time.
Yeah.
I love being
Introvert.
alone. I love not talking to anyone. I
Yeah.
love not smiling.
Which is tough.
That's
It's
an
tough
introvert
because we
thing.
live
Going
in
to a party will drain you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna need like therapy after today. Like even this is overwhelming.
I'm going to the spa.
She's
after
going to the
this.
spa after this to just relax. But yeah, but it's like, so I love being out and about and like going to whenever there's like a comic's birthday party. Like I love the idea of going, but I also want to be a boyfriend. So if I'm not doing a set, like last night I came home after my sets and I wanted to like go to this person's birthday party, but I didn't even care who was there. I just wanted to be out because as
Right.
comics, like we just perform and like I'm missing out on that bar hang part of comedy.
Right.
Like I'm
Yeah.
jealous, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I'm jealous of like
You
what
still can.
you guys have though,
You
or
still
like
can do that.
roommates or guys that like go hang out and have the beers and like that's I grew up being that guy, but now I'm like I took
Right.
my career so seriously that I was like I do my sets and I come home, or I have my 17 side jobs I do, and I'm like, oh, like I need to get back to actually enjoying the
Hanging.
company of
that's
comedy
right. That's
friends.
right. That's right. That's it.
So if you want to adopt me,
That's it.
Brenton Biddlecombe
That's
had
it.
said it best. I think some headliner was telling us. He says, "Getting on stage is the fun part. The hanging is the actual work.
That's the work.
That's the work. And if you're
I
not
mean-
putting in that hang time, like you're not actually doing the work.
yeah,
I'm
because
guilty of it.
You're never going to be that much funnier than the guy who people know and like. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like if you can be
Yeah.
funny, but also be the guy that's at all the events. And I've let myself down with the Comedy Store and like other places. Went to the Haha the other night. I actually went to see you guys because I was like, oh, I'll do a mic, and then I can actually see friends that I know. And then I met another dude, and this other dude booked me on his show. And
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
oh,
all it takes. Just hanging out.
It's like the universe is like slapping that shit in my face, and it probably is the same for other industries. They always say like whoever's on the smoke break is making the deals, or
Yes.
it's
Right.
it's whoever's there getting to know. Like a friend is better than an acquaintance, and in whatever industry you're in, that's
Yeah.
just gonna pay dividends.
I'm telling you, if you can just, there's guys who just hang around that are decent comics, but they're hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
And and they'll get on TV quick because of it.
And there are comics that don't do any stand up that are dog shit that everyone knows. So like there is you got to
There's a
still put
fine
the
line.
work in.
There's a fine line.
But like, have you dated
That's-
girls that want you to be a famous comedian, but don't want you to be doing all the hard work? Like where they're kind of needy.
Yeah, like my first two girlfriends, my only two real girlfriends when I started stand up, they they wanted a husband, and I was like, well, I'm going to do open mics.
Yeah.
They're like, but what about
Yeah,
Real
but that's
Housewives?
That's unhealthy if you're like, I've got to go out and hit a mic, and they're like, but I want to hang out.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
mean,
this
That would
way-
be unhealthy, and that would be almost narcissistic.
Today's
on her
Saturday,
part.
so I think it was Thursday. We were hanging out. We had a late night, early morning the night before, and I was like, I can hang out, but whatever set I don't do tonight, I'm going to make up tomorrow. Do you want to just hang out tonight? And we had a night.
Yeah.
We just hung out and watched
Right.
TV. But I caught up the next day with it, and I was like, okay, so that's on me to like learn how to communicate that. When
Right.
it's a show, it's a show. You're there. You got to do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had to like remind myself and Tasha to be like, when my like Wednesday night, I just showed the Yoo-Hoo Room, stupid tiny show, flappers, no big deal. But I was like, I'm going to stay till the end of the show and like talk to some people and hang out.
Right.
I met some people. I was like, but I was like, I could have just punched my clock and went home. And sometimes that's what you want to do. But I was like, I just need to like make it known that like this, like whenever I see like Joey Diaz walking through the back halls of those places, everybody knows him. Of course, he's a legend. But it's like you don't get that way. You say hi to the wait staff. You just know people. The more people you know, that way when the booker's like, hey, what do you think of this guy? Everyone goes, oh yeah, we love him. They're not commenting on your
well,
stand-up.
that's heat. That's what heat is.
Yeah.
Having heat on you in the business, and that's part of that you can control. Part of that is just fate. You know
can
what I mean?
control in the sense of hanging more.
But
But-
I think it comes down to just being a beast and who works the hardest.
Like Danny
It's
Jollis is a
ultimately-
guy that everyone knows. That guy's 10 out of 10. You don't
Yeah.
see that guy have a bad set.
Right.
That guy shows up to work and he knocks it out of the park every time.
Nice too.
Nice. You can't not like the guy.
I don't like
and,
him.
and he's got and he's always had a little bit of heat on him because of that. Like
Yeah.
he's the guy everyone's rooting for.
And he
I'm
gets
not
a
rooting
show
for
on
him.
Crazy. What's the show called?
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend,
In part because he's talented, but also like was in the improv class with the girl who started the show. Not to say he's not talented. I don't know if that's the exact story, but it's like
there's that
he was
aspect,
talented,
yeah.
and it's like your peers are your greatest network. And because he was in a
That talent is useless if he wasn't connected.
because his headshot's not getting him the part. No offense, Danny, but like your headshot, my headshot, we're not getting the part because like we stand out. over the other millions.
I don't. I'm just some normal looking dude, so I don't stand out. So it's going to come down to networking.
At least you have red hair.
A really
you're a redhead,
it
and
does
you're
help me for a career.
and
It
you're
gets me
6'6",
commercials.
right? So
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
both
Yeah,
have.
but that didn't show
I
up on
really
camera.
can't stand motherfuckers like Danny Jolis, and I'll tell you why. And it's nothing against him necessarily, although it is a little bit. It's I can just tell the little weasels that they just the minute they meet me, they resent me. Just the level of fucking hatred
You're just bad
that
with
I
people.
feel off of them
Because
is-
you're tall.
Absolutely, and because so what? I'm having a good hair day. 6 out of 7
They,
days. Right?
they,
They have, and if they knew how similar we felt inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be an instant kindred
That's the
spirit.
thing. I try
But
and remind
those
myself
little
of that every
fucking-
day.
Yeah, you
Like show
you
some
know.
compassion for other
Tasha
people.
gets this a lot. She's a good
because-
example.
yeah, show compassion for tall guys. Those poor people.
Well, and you know, you
No,
just everybody's
just
having
stop being
these
a
sort of, like,
cocksucker.
similar life experience. Like we all have bad days, right?
Tasha gets treated like shit by other women. And that's something
Yeah,
that
that's
like
fucked up. That's
like
fucked up.
feminists or just not even feminists, but women in general have a pecking order. Men have it too with alpha male. We alpha male each other. We do whatever. But women can be very tough to other women because of their looks or whatever like sexual status they have. And like when Tasha's working in fashion, right? You have to, she has to work with people that she'll show up to a job, be making more money maybe than them, and they're like treating your. I mean, I'm not trying to make it like your life's horrible, but you know what I mean. Like women have it tough when they go to the doctor, when they're explaining, female heart attacks were never diagnosed because doctors don't take women seriously. Right. It's a whole thing that women have, but men have it too with the fact that you should never want to play the victim because we've all got something which like we can talk about that's like, oh yeah, you think you're better than me? Like, yeah, Johnny, you're a good looking guy, but like Griff, you too. Like we're all at that point in life where we can go out and get laid. But like, we're also like in a career that doesn't pay you till you're top of the industry, and it's very tough. And those things, they're just tough. Like
everybody's got some to complain about, but nobody wants to fucking hear it. So shut up and smile.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
And short guys fucking bow down to daddy, motherfuckers. Okay.
Well, I saw an article that said science says shorter guys are overly aggressive to tall guys because they've got this complex.
Even if it's the passive aggression that you see in Hollywood, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
still an aggression. I can tell.
I'm 5'11", so I'm like I blend
No,
in.
you're perfect, dude. You're perfect.
I don't have the tall thing, but I have to deal with asshole face. I have to deal with looking like I'm like unless I'm smiling, I have to deal with people thinking like I'm a quote unquote good looking. And it was funny is like in the
Rhode Island trash.
but in the actual
Isn't he from Massachusetts? Still,
It's from Rhode Island.
but I'm from Rhode Island.
Well,
same
you're
thing.
still
but
Massachusetts trash.
in entertainment, I'm the ugliest of the people on a modeling call, but I'm on the
Right.
better
Right.
looking side on the comedy call,
right.
and it's
Yeah.
like
It's an
I'm just me. I'm just a chubby. I grew up a chubby kid with fat nipples, and I wore a T-shirt in the pool. Like
Thanks,
I'm fucked up.
fat
I couldn't not wear a T-shirt. My cousin was fatter than me, and he was comfortable with no shirt, and he would let his belly hang out, and I was so jealous at the balls it took him to
Right.
show his fucking tits.
Right.
And I finally took it.
Those nice fucking little boy tits.
Yeah, I've got
Fucking big,
you
flappy,
can't
fucking
diet
beautiful tits.
fat
You
nipples.
sick pervert.
You can't. I could be 40 pounds and die of anorexia, and I'm gonna have big ol' salamis.
But yeah,
What do
I'm
you
not
think
doing
about
anything
that?
for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. I'm not doing anything for Valentine's Day. Well, here's the thing.
Disgusting.
This is the 20th anniversary of my favorite rapper being murdered, and he was murdered the day after Valentine's Day.
Tupac?
So I usually Big L.
Big L, no
Big
idea.
L, 1999,
Just a guess.
February 15th, he was murdered. So I usually, as a day of
He lights
remembrance,
candles in his
yeah,
room
exactly.
and
I usually
gets-
just get a good night's sleep and go to his gravesite on the 15th.
Do you
so-
really?
No, he died in Harlem, but still, I listen to Big L all day on February 15th. It's all I listen to. Is
Good for
is
you.
Big L.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So if you really, Tosh, if you really think that I have a future with a wife and a kid, did you hear what I just said? What my Valentine's
No,
Day
but
plans were?
I'll carve it out.
It's not in the cards for me.
No, listen. You're making your money. You got all the money in the world. You've already had success. I'm
Oh,
we're
yeah,
future, not
yeah,
now.
yeah, okay.
And you've banged your way through.
Yeah,
you've
making money,
plowed
yeah.
or whatever term you use through
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
chicks
yeah.
that
Yeah.
you've tagged them or whatever you call it. Clipped them.
Yeah.
You clipped them, whatever.
Clipped 'em.
Like they're
Fucked
chickens. You
up.
clip their
Sorry.
ears or whatever. You've done all that, and
Wow.
now you got
Chickens
this
have
money.
ears.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
40 years old. You're whatever it is, and then
Oh
you
yeah,
go,
somebody's getting pregnant.
and then you go, okay, look,
Oh.
and you find a lady who's like wants, likes you for who you are, and you've already got that success and all that. Like you've got the ball rolling. I'm sure you could find somebody that like fits into your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
a
I mean, if
scumbag
I don't
out
have
there
to
for
put
you.
in a lot of, if there's a way that I can still get all the sleep I need, and like if there's help, like I can't.
We need like a nanny for
Exactly.
you in a relationship.
But what I'm thinking is, okay, so I have two plans if that doesn't pan out, okay? I've thought about this. So I'm either going to be a surrogate father. Okay, so if Griff comes to me theoretically and says, "Look, we can't get pregnant. Do you want to have a go? Is your cum good to go?" I'm like, I'm there,
dude. On height alone, for sure.
Yeah. That or if I get really old, I'm gonna rent my place out, like my mansion, out to like a couple like you, right, or like a young, hungry, hot Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll be
couple.
old by then, but yeah.
But whatever, like a young couple. And I'm like, look, you guys can stay with me. You can have the spare bedroom. You can have the pool house. But when you fuck, I need to be able to watch you and jack off.
For sure.
That's the price. But
For
free
sure.
rent. You know what I mean? That'll
For a
probably.
Hollywood mansion, I feel like you'd have lots of takers.
It's worth
lot.
it.
You wouldn't even need a Hollywood mansion for that.
We talk.
Great point.
Just do it in our
Yeah,
apartment.
yeah.
We talk all the time about like which of our friends we'd want to watch fuck, because we've got some good friends. Like
we don't talk about that all the time, but you ask me about it literally once a month.
if John was like, if John and Marina, right? If John was like, "Yo, would you guys want to watch me fuck Marina in like, or put it this way, if we were walking by, we were all at different cottages on like a group vacation, and the window was open. I'm stopping and I'm watching from the safety of the bush.
And then you're getting arrested.
Whatever.
No. Because you could pay. You could keep that.
There's just something to be like, oh, what are they doing? What's going on over there? I'm not trying to fuck either one of them. I'm just like, oh, cool. I don't know. It's interesting. Like if we were,
And then you're like Penn Badgley jerking off in the street.
maybe I don't know.
The bushes.
If we were like having sex and like I don't know, we're like I don't know. I mean,
What if Johnny wanted to watch?
That'd be but that's the thing is it'd have to be like mutually assured. Like you'd have to be fucking your chick. It'd have to be like
even swap.
Even swap. Not necessarily at the same time, but like
that's hot. That's like swinger shit. No, we're talking dirty. Johnny, lonely. I just need a wank, dude.
Do you want like
eating a piece of pizza?
It's like live porn.
Exactly.
But do you want like a one-way mirror, like you're investigating them? Do you want just to be able to see them, or do you want to know that they can see you?
No, I want you to know. Look, I'm gonna be in here. I'm gonna be in here making a cup of coffee. You're giving her a rogering over the couch. You know what I mean? And I'm, I'm having a semi-hard.
Because that's the best
jerk session.
That's the best.
Well, did you guys?
And I'm done in 5 minutes. It's not even a big deal.
I'll put it this way:
Come on, guys.
when I
I
lived
think he's trying to pitch himself right now hard.
when I lived in a quad in my fraternity, you bet your ass I was jerking off while my roommate was fucking.
You didn't have
You
much
bet your
choice,
ass
yeah.
it was happening.
Wait.
Oh,
Just like the sounds.
The quad?
Just listening.
We lived in a not like the quad, like the
Tasha's
garden.
like what?
Like in we had a 4-bedroom room, like a big room, and we had like stacks of bunk beds. In Fetus, his name, he was banging.
Fetus.
Everybody had a friend
course.
named Fetus.
He's banging
Everybody
Mrs.
in
Fetus.
the same room,
Actually, his girlfriend's.
having sex.
They're having sex. I can't really see them, but you can hear them fucking. And listen, if you hear somebody fucking and you're 8 feet away,
Yeah.
You get a little turned on.
You're coming to
That's
the
right.
get a little
Especially if he's
turned
putting
on.
it down.
He's
You know what
putting
I
it
mean?
down.
Yeah.
He's got that meatball, that Rhode Island.
Fuck yeah, that old school Guido.
He was
East Coast. Everybody from the East Coast, like Rhode Island, they learn how to fuck at like 14.
You know, not
what I
me,
mean?
not me, but yeah, but in general, well,
but you're kind of just a white guy. I'm talking about like Italians
Yeah.
and old school Irish start fucking.
yeah,
Basically after
Well,
their.
you got nothing
commencement.
else to do.
Yeah.
There's no internet yet.
Yep.
You're trying to figure it out.
There's
But
no
anyway,
internet
all
even
I'm
now.
saying, Tasha, is like if we were camping, we went camping.
Look at her face.
We went camping with
What?
Jonathan and Marina, right? We went camping. We're all doing like edibles or whatever. Marina was like passed out, so it wouldn't happen. But like, imagine if you could hear them fucking in the tent next door. We would start fucking. It's all vicarious.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
absolutely. We'd fuck.
Yeah,
The
but
next
it's
10 would
group-
fuck.
It's like separate. It's not like it's like group sex.
But would it be
It's,
okay
like,
if you
separate.
saw it? Would it be okay if they had their
Tents.
lantern on and you could see like the shadow of them fucking? You just see this fucking. She's riding them, and then next thing
And
you know.
we turn our lantern on.
Wait, I'm sorry.
What if I land?
She's getting into it now.
I'm sorry. What is this? What is this? The Salem witch trials? You guys have fucking lanterns?
Yeah. What if by land too? If I see
Have you
you.
never been
Dick? Have you
camping?
never been camping?
It's not a lantern though.
Yeah,
There's
that's what you call it.
Turn it on.
We have a pop out
Apparently you never heard of
lantern
Coleman.
that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I've heard of Coleman. All right. Okay. So it's a propane lantern.
Anyway, so
Call it something different where I'm
Jesus,
from.
what a
have you
cock.
guys ever? I mean, do you guys know any when you were roommates? Would you know if the other guy's fucking?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like,
that didn't happen a lot. Let's face it. We were only roommates for 5 months.
Yeah.
And let's see. I mean, yeah, Griff just started dating his girl like a month before we moved out. But yeah, no, I heard him smashing.
and you're still dating, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
a couple months in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First Valentine's.
Yep.
What's the plan?
It'll be. I mean, it'd be a nice dinner that'll be in there for sure. A nice dinner, but
Did
I don't know
you
yet.
think about the place yet? You got to make these reservations.
I know.
In
I know.
advance.
I haven't. I'm planning my birthday trip coming up in a couple weeks and like some other stuff. So
Where are you going?
Do you guys need a water, by the way? Are you
San
good?
Diego, because I'm headlining at the comedy.
I get it.
Ooh, fun.
The Madhouse. So
Madhouse?
Yeah, I'm headlining at Madhouse, and then I was like, my birthday's on the night before, so I might as well make like a 3-day run out of it, just like a San Diego kind of thing.
Do girls still care about Valentine's Day? That's it officially.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys
They
have been
care about them.
brainwashed. Thank you, buddy. You guys have been
It's not
brainwashed.
about that. It's not
by the-
brainwashed. A girl just wants to be taken care of and has the right to want to be taken care
Yeah,
of.
and like it's one day for
One
you to
day.
treat us special. Like, you know, just like the little things. It doesn't even have to be like over the top expensive diamonds. Just like a little bit of thought
Right.
and appreciation. A
Right.
handwritten card, some flowers, some chocolate, a dinner
Right.
reservation. Like
Right. That's the
little
other
things.
reason. That's the other reason I can't get serious with anyone
Trying to
close,
fuck me?
close to Valentine's Day is because I don't have that kind of budget. Right.
Yeah. It's expensive.
So we can start dating after Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Or
What if you
Hello,
meet the
just
girl of your
scumbag.
dreams on like February 5th?
Oh,
Are you really gonna
no.
like?
I'm out of
He's
town
gonna-
for a week. I'm out of town for 2 weeks.
That's
But
the
let's
day-
let's stay in
No,
touch.
he'll get her
okay?
pizza and then bring her home and say, "Want to fuck?"
We started
That's
dating.
Johnny.
We started dating on February 5th, and luckily we were friends. And we ended up doing a pretty cool Valentine's. We went actually out with Jonathan and Marina. This is the same sample couple.
Same couple.
We went to
Wow, they're getting me hot
Cirque
and bothered.
du Soleil. So we did.
Jerk
remember we
du
did-
Soleil.
I don't remember that.
We went to Cirque du
He's been
Soleil,
writing.
and I think and on another night we went out to dinner. But yeah, now Valentine's Day, it's going to be multiple events. Like we're going to Lake Tahoe with that same couple the weekend
Oh my-
before Valentine's Day.
Are we? Because you really should have told me that because I've got like a ton of work lined up.
Yeah, we're going to Lake Tahoe. It's in the books. We've already
It's
confirmed
not
it.
in
they
the
couldn't-
books.
fighting?
You
they
need to
couldn't-
tell
I'm getting
me
hard
what
right
days
now.
Exactly.
It's like
Griff,
the-
they
Oh,
could-
I'm
they-
getting hard right now.
Griff, they
watching
couldn't even
this.
make it through one podcast.
Oh, I'm getting hard as a rock right now.
We're going to Tahoe. We got
All right, well,
there's a
yeah.
hot tub.
You have not confirmed. You have not put it in the calendar. I just knew it was sometime in
Oh, this
February.
is
You haven't told
turning
me
on.
any
now
of the dates.
Now I get why it's called sex, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just the way she gave him that disapproving shoulder, like she turned away.
Power
and-
move,
and-
like a
And she did this
full
thing with her
torso
hands.
turn.
Whenever
Right,
they use
right.
the hands, you're
Boom.
fucked. They start using like
Every
their
girl,
own
every girl's
sign
got a
language.
little move that you're like, oh fuck, dude.
You just know. you're
Women
not
are
gonna recover.
great, man. I really like women, and I hope I do
Wow.
make it in show business and achieve some kind of stability, so I can date
Wow.
one.
But
you
don't
know?
don't you worry that you're gonna attract the worst types of women? You know what I mean? Like
where he is right now.
Like,
or if he
luckily
had
for
money?
me, Tasha knows I'm worth 0.
Right,
You know
right.
that's my biggest asset to love is that I know she can't get anything from me.
Right,
She didn't
right.
find me for the wrong reason.
And she's waiting for you to pop to blow up, so
You
she
know.
can start stand up. This is the
Long-term.
long game, so and then you'll take her
So
on the
I
road.
can start stand-up?
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what every female comedian. They're just waiting. Yeah, oh, he's gonna take me on the road.
We're taking
with him.
I'm
that
ready to
jittery shit.
retire. I want to spend all of my days at home.
Yeah, my goal is that by the time I make it, Tasha's done and she can run the house and you can run my merch or whatever they do. You know, they're the wives always
Right.
run the merch
Yep.
and the website
Yep.
and all that
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
And
Her
then it's
face.
like,
I'm just looking. I'm just loving this. I'm loving this.
you know what's
you guys are
interesting?
adorable.
I'll say that I mentioned this on other episodes, but maybe I can get your take. Is like I don't think Tasha's parents really believe in my stand-up, and I don't mean that in
I
like a
don't
negative
either.
way. I just mean
Does
like,
anybody?
do you guys have? Wow.
I'm sorry I had to.
Oh,
you got us in the room together. I'm sorry.
Did
That's
Tasha
just
say
the
does
vibe.
anybody? Either way, I do. That's all that counts. And
That's
I pay to
right.
do stand-up.
That's
But do you have to deal with that? Like, have you met your girlfriend's parents at all? Do they like?
Met her mom.
Does she tell her
You
parents
haven't
like
met her dad?
my boyfriend's a comedian?
Texted him, but have not. What's that?
Does she like tell them you're a comedian? Is it like?
Oh, they know. Yeah.
so it's
And
not
then
like-
and her mom was like, you know, how did you know? Like, when did you know you really want to take it serious? And I told her things. I went on a couple tours and blah blah blah, and I knew this is what I wanted to do, and kind of told her like I've done some things under my belt to show that I'm serious. It's not a hobby and everything. And she was, you know, I think she was supportive of it after that. After I kind of told her it's not like, well, I want to do this, want to do that. It was more like I've done this.
like
and
they'll
that.
believe you if you have the conviction.
Now,
Right.
now, can I use
Right.
this example to point out why being an artist of any kind that hasn't made it is just the worst?
Sure.
Because you're constantly having
Having
to
to
justify
validate.
Yeah.
yourself.
Mhm.
You're like, no, but here, no, trust me, I got this. See, if I
Well,
can just get
Until
this,
you can pay your bills doing it, you're
that's
a
why.
loser.
That's why it's almost not even fucking worth interacting with anybody.
just say you do
until
property management.
until you've got at least like a middle class living. Like until you're a headliner.
Yeah.
Because then they can be like, And then you could just be like, go to my website.
Versus
Go
if
to
you
my
worked
website.
at
Go to my
Hertz
website.
and you were a junior associate, you could say I'm a junior associate at Hertz, and people can put they know what that is to them.
Of
Versus
course.
you go, I've done stand up for 7 years. What does that mean?
right.
Well, it means I'm like a junior vice president of stand up. I've spent 7 years doing
twice a
it.
year.
Yeah, I get paid twice a year, but I've got so many stock options because I've created my own thing that I can sell now when it hits a certain line. Like it's like the GoFundMe. Like once I get to a certain level, I am cashing in on these things, which can, if you go viral on YouTube, whatever it is, it can end up being a $50,000 gig.
Exactly. I think Europe appreciates art for art more. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like you could say I'm an artist, and that's good enough for people. They're like, oh, you contribute. There is a part of society for you. Like society needs.
Why you need to go to the Edinburgh
artists.
Fringe
You know what I mean?
Festival?
I know. I don't have to go.
I would go if we can. I would go to one of those things if like I knew I was part of a group of guys that were doing it. I just
You
worry-
find your group of guys.
I
You
know.
go.
Gary just said the same thing. He wants to see all of you in San Diego.
Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
set a show up.
Well,
hey,
we'll
Griff,
tell
do you
him
need
when
an
you-
opener?
Headlining the Madhouse, January 31st.
January 31st at the Madhouse.
I'll be
Yeah.
selling his
Griff.
merchandise, and but you know what? Here's an interesting story. So at Fourth Wall last night, so I've talked about it a lot. Fourth Wall is kind of just like a place where comics go to work their material out. We all pay $5 for the stage time. 8 comics go up,
tell anyone
work it out. We're done. But last night, Travis has taken a girl's $5, and she brought a friend, and so Travis has taken the performer's $5, and then the friend gets her money out to start paying, and Travis was like, "You don't have to pay," and I was like, "Oh," and I had this thought. I was like, "Oh, we forget that like maybe she wanted to pay $5 because she was like supporting like comedians, and to us it's like such a rare idea to be
Yeah, we know
paid."
who would have pocketed that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But-
Joe's a pimp. He would have taken that $5 and gone straight to Joe, and Joe would have been wearing his mink coat in his fucking pink Cadillac.
You think he makes a fortune over there?
Oh my God, the guy is gonna have tax problems if he's not careful, dude. That's how much money that dude's making.
You think so? I
it's
mean,
all
he's not
fives,
dressing
dude.
like he's making money.
Of course not.
Yeah.
That's why it's
Yeah,
even
that's
more
why you
brilliant.
wouldn't do
dude.
that. You
That's
wouldn't
why
do
it's
that.
All he
even
has
more
to do is
brilliant.
put
You wouldn't
in a
rub it in
safety
our
deposit
face?
box.
That's
Put it this
right.
way: only
Well-
5 hours a day, he can make $40 an hour. That's not much.
Not well, no.
Think
More
about
than
it.
that.
It's
More
all
these are
passive
multiple
though.
locations.
It's all passive though. It's all
I'm just
passive.
saying, when you
we're not
break
going
it
to talk
down-
about. We're not going to talk
Yeah,
about.
we're
how
not
much
here
money
to
this guy
talk.
makes on
We're not
open
here to
mics.
talk about that.
We're so bitter, but the point of that was that like we have a hard time placing the value on what we have to offer. I've argued with people, listeners, and even friends that say you got to have a Patreon, you have to accept donations, and I go, I want to, I just don't know if we're at the threshold where it's going to make a difference. The last thing in the world I want to do is start a Patreon account and it only makes $16 a month, and then people can go, Dave's only worth $16 a month. It's almost like I'd rather not do it.
Insulting.
You don't have to make that public though.
Yeah, you're right.
Am I
Should I go
fucking
Patreon?
brilliant or what?
No,
well,
you're
but I
not.
thought about it, and people
You
go,
know I'm half a genius.
they go,
You eat
like
pizza by
guys
yourself
like Jordan
and cry.
Peterson and Sam Harris, they've gotten off Patreon and they're just doing PayPal. And I'm like, well, it must be nice, but you don't have a fucking army of a million people that are willing to
Right.
jump over.
Right.
So for me, it's like I don't pay to listen to any podcast, even the ones I love. I don't pay to
I
listen
pay
to.
for one.
You pay for one. What do you pay for?
Misery Loves Company with Kevin Brennan.
Oh, yeah?
Neal's older brother.
Why do you pay
And
for
that's
it?
a Patreon?
And that's a Patreon. Well, he gives one free episode a month on iTunes, and then he gives the other 3 you got to pay for. So like one is not enough.
See,
if you're
I
a
And
would-
big
how
fan.
do you download those paid ones?
It's an app on your phone. You download the Patreon app, right? And then you have to go to the website and input your Patreon.com, and you input your credit card
Yeah.
number, and there's a threshold. Some people the minimum's $5, other people the minimum's $10. For Kevin Brennan's, the minimum is $3 a month. So you can. You could give more. A lot of people, some people pledge $20
So like
a
the
month.
podcast is on the Patreon app for people to like redeem it?
We'll show you later. It's simple,
I'm
but yeah.
curious about it.
It's a completely separate thing from iTunes. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with the podcast app that's on your iPhone.
I would
or
do.
smartphone.
I would never charge for this one a week, but I would do an extra one because I do enjoy podcasting. I do enjoy my solo ones where I just get up there and read some Q&As and whatever. So like I would definitely do that. I would, and there's different levels you can do where like you can do like $15 a month. What's the difference? Well, this is if you really don't need the money. I could use it. Like there's different levels you can do
Right.
where it's like,
Needs it.
look,
Dave
if you
needs it
don't
more
need the
than
money,
you.
if you're a trust fund kid and you want to give me $50 a month, I'll leave this up here if you want to click on it. We sold soap to this one guy. We were selling it for $35 for 5 soaps and whatever, and he was like, you're underpricing yourselves, and he paid me $50. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's nice. But I was also
Your dad is a
going,
nice guy.
my dad's dead. But I was,
That's
and he does,
even
yeah.
better.
He actually is dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's even better.
But so yeah, I wasn't able to. But I was like, well, I was charging the market rate. So like you're saying, I undervalued myself, and it's nice you have the money, but we only sold a tiny bit of money, and we weren't trying to make money off of it. We just sold some extra. We sold like a couple $100 worth of soap over the holidays, but it was like we had to pay. What would we have to pay to ship that? $5.
$7.
We paid like
box,
it was
You gotta figure out how to scale it though.
43.
You gotta figure out
Yeah,
how
that's
to talk
exactly it.
about
We
real
need like
business.
giant vats.
Yeah, Johnny's all about that scaling.
You know that scales. I know a lot about scales.
Scales and dropping soap.
We should give you
that
guys
was
soap. We'll give you guys both our.
He knows a thing or two about soap and how not to handle
doesn't
it.
Griff right now looks like he drives a Zamboni for a living? Is that just me?
I'm always wearing some dumb outfit, and he just like I'll see him pulling out of our parking lot, and he's like, you look like you just came. What did you say?
Yesterday he was walking so fast and sketchy out of our building, and he had like some big fucking long sketchy coat on. I was like, you look like you just came from a rape.
What was I wearing a couple days ago? You just said like I'm always wearing something. He's like, you look like you just, and he's
No, you look like you subscribe to NRA magazine right now. That's like
You're from
really,
Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
What's You're not. Are you a Trump guy?
No.
Do you have any family that's Trumpers? It's still got to be big there, right?
Oh no! Oh, dude, my family and everyone in Trump. You know what that's like being from Kentucky.
We didn't ask, but my family in St. Louis, we went to go visit when I was visiting my dad's grave. We were, I was like, oh, there was,
Thanks,
that's
Griff.
hot.
Yeah, there. No, that was a different story. We already talked about it on the podcast. It was cool, but my family, a lot of them, you could tell it's like super conservative, and like we didn't get into any of it, and I think they mean well, but and they're actually listening now. So thank you for subscribing. Because no, it's like you're from northern Kentucky, and even from Rhode Island, it's super conservative. Like people think New England's super Democrat. No,
No,
we know it's not.
No,
It might be a red state for all I know.
It's weird that we're not, but like there's probably more Trump. New Hampshire, like those places.
But I mean,
even here,
even the liberals over there, like the ultra elite liberals of Rhode Island. I mean, it's they vote Democrat, but they still don't. They don't want their daughters. dating
socially
black
liberal,
guys. You know what I
fiscally
mean?
conservative.
It's the Puritan.
Exactly. Yeah,
grown.
totally.
Yeah.
It's all Puritan,
Fucking
dude.
Puritans.
The original
I hate
Europeans.
Puritans.
Yeah.
The original
Puritanism.
Europeans.
Oh, we don't have sex talks like this. There's a
Right.
reason I do this podcast. I'm trying to recover from a youth of not knowing.
Right.
I thought the vagina was under the belly button, like right under.
Yeah.
it.
I thought
I still do.
I thought women.
I still think it's there.
No. Well, anyways.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke about how he goes for the asshole every time. But
As I flip it around.
are you Catholic or Protestant?
Catholic?
See,
yeah.
everybody's divided over there. Either Catholic,
But here's the
Catholicism or
thing:
Protestantism.
people shit on Catholics because of the priest situation. I get it, but Catholics are the least Christian of
They're
all.
more fun.
They
They
literally
cuss more,
don't
they
take
fuck more.
anything seriously. We have a lot of like shame and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but we're not like
As everyone
beating on
should.
people's doors trying to
just
convert
kidding.
them. We're not. There's no converting in Catholicism.
That's because nobody really believes anymore.
Yeah.
The only people that really believe God exists are Muslims.
Well, I believe
It's more about
really,
the tradition.
Or Oklahomans and people in Kentucky.
yeah, you're right. And fundamentalist Christians.
But this is
It's
where
true,
it gets
too.
sketchy
It's
because I
very-
believe we're all created, and I believe in a certain thing that God is, but not like a deity above and like controlling us. I just believe we're all part of
Not
a
like a
larger
comedy
thing.
club booker, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not. It's a God is at the Comedy Store just trying to pass us. Like that's all it is. We're at the
That's
heaven
right.
states.
Adam Egan.
Yeah, it's God. I'll blow you. What do you need? What do you guys have a time limit? Could we do a few more minutes?
He
Yeah,
doesn't
do a
have
few more
anywhere to
minutes.
go.
No, I
Nowhere to
got a full schedule today.
No,
What do you got?
I got
he
a busy
doesn't.
schedule. I got to go home and
No.
finish the chapter of this book. I got a party tonight.
Yeah, no.
Who are you
Dude, we're
partying
partying with volleyball chicks tonight.
Whoa.
I'm not even bullshitting.
See, he's the
Going
great,
with our
he's
me
the
and Todd
guy.
Durham. Me
You're
and
gonna
Todd
meet
Durham.
the girl of your dreams.
I know.
Tonight.
Oh my God! It was Valentine's Day. Is still a fucking month away, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
those chicks
screwed.
are tall.
Hey, can I
Like
come at you guys
6'4".
for a loan? What's that?
A lot of those girls are like 6'3",
I don't want to
6'4".
date a
A
fucking 6'4"
Valentine's
chick.
a volleyball chick is perfect for you.
But I don't want to date I don't want to date a 6'4".
yeah, but she
chick.
could be 5'11". Can you date a 5'11"?
Yeah.
You're
If
fucking,
she's bad, she's got to be fucking.
think about the
smoking,
children
dude.
you guys will have. It's all about like,
Monster
birthing some
children.
monsters.
Bro, we'll have Lenny from Mice and Men, like retarded sized children. You know what I mean?
No, they can be models.
Bro, they'll be crushing our animals.
What's
Well,
your s-
I'll let him pet my cat.
What's
and
your
they'll just
dream girl, dream job scenario?
headliner, like Brian Callen level. Fucking, we got a podcast that makes us, 50 to 75 a year, doing $50,000 door deals for weekends. Maybe
that'd
it's
be so
with
nice.
Griff, maybe it's not, but I'll probably always work with Griff in some fashion.
Yeah,
know
you
what I
think
mean?
so?
Yeah.
You guys have
probably.
any tips? Have
Unless
you had
he
any?
dies, I think. I don't know. I think
How was your roommate communication? Because that's important. It's like roommate communication. It's like it's a relationship.
Strong.
Oh, it was good. We just literally trashed each other and put it on our Instagram stories.
But like, what if is someone cleaner than the other? Do you have to worry about
Griff's a slob and I'm
That's
I'm
okay.
pretty
You're painting
dirty.
a picture like I'm a slob, and
No,
you
no,
know
no.
that's
No,
not
look
true.
So
at
you're
look at
both
look at we're
really
both we're
dirty?
let's
See how
face it.
quickly we
Neither of
divorce
us
them?
neither of us are super hygienic, and you know that, and that's why it's
not
untenable.
bad though. It's not like neither one of us would. Hey,
face.
I've got a girl, and she would say something,
Nice wings. I like
and
that.
she would say something if I had a
I look like
hygiene
an
problem.
an old British.
Okay, but this is what you do,
Sorry,
Tasha.
sorry,
None of
I
this matters.
interrupted the
She put
podcast.
fucking wings on people's
Exactly,
faces.
but this is the new generation. This is the
yeah.
you can't even.
But
see
they're
through
not. But the
story.
10,000 listeners aren't. That's not that many.
Do you have 10,000 listeners?
Now
Can
we-
we get some Instagram followers out of
Here's
this?
where
What
we're
the
at.
fuck,
Jesus,
man?
Here's where we're
Griff
at.
Pippin.
Fuck, dude. Jay Mitchell comic. what the
yeah,
fuck?
It's Johnny
All right.
Mitchell comic.
Shut up, Griff. It's not Johnny Mitchell comic. But we
Jay
can,
At Johnny Mitchell comic?
I got to change my handle. It's Jay Mitchell comic. We're gonna spell it out for you. I'm gonna hold it up on a piece of paper before we're done. Okay, hang in there.
But why aren't you guys doing podcasts?
If there are any women out there that want to see
did
my
do
body, it's you just Venmo me $5.
well, we had a model.
I'll jerk off for you. I'll
Who did
You
we
remember
have?
Chat Roulette?
yeah.
Oh, back in the day, yeah, chat roulette was
What
fun.
were we
back in the
talking
day. I was going to ask you why don't you guys do podcast or like have your
I
own?
did a podcast
You did a
for
science
over a
one,
year,
right?
yeah.
But you need one that's like your own on your website, and people are coming to see you. You know what I mean? Like you need like
You need help. Look, here's the thing. There, with few exceptions, you need somebody that's bigger to help you. In my opinion, with few exceptions, you need somebody that's already got something.
How does that go?
To pull
Wait,
you up.
One more time. How does that go?
If you're
Can you reenact
podcasting,
what you just did, though?
Well, I'm going to call that a limitation. I'm not
Can
saying
you
it's
reenact-
wrong.
Hold on. I wanted to reenact the
but I
act
have,
out there.
I have a limiting belief system.
Yeah, which is fine. You
Yeah.
just can't grow from it.
No, I can grow from it.
But look, here's the thing. Like you're right. You're right about this. Like we don't make any money on the podcast. but
Griff looks like a fucking Irish raccoon, doesn't he? His beady, like one.
Johnny, I wish I could get laid as much as you.
He was 2 beers away
Johnny.
from being a fetal alcohol syndrom.
But
and he fucking lucked out.
I
chicks
am.
like a
I am.
beard, at least they know what they're getting. You know what I mean? Like that's what guys do.
An actual man.
Yeah, you put yourself out there.
Johnny's far from that.
I never purported to be one.
Okay, good.
You ever
As long as you know
have
where you stand?
Do you
you
have,
little
do you have
cuck.
to deal with women thinking you got a big dick because you're tall?
Well, that's
He
that's the
disappoints
truth,
a lot of
though. That's
women,
the
and
truth.
I would know.
No,
Do you
I
have
mean,
a big
look,
dick?
there's no
It's
exception. It's a
skinny.
fine penis. It's
It's
not skinny. It's not skinny.
oh,
It's been
man.
called a fat cock.
Yeah.
I had a gay dude.
It was
my first week in
hot
LA.
as a sauna, and he goes, "It's cold." I got out of the shower, and I'm
It's
like,
true.
"Wow."
Griff used to always try to barge in while I was shitting or showering.
Yeah, I did successfully many times.
And this guy, he was so creepy. I would lock the door. He would pick the lock and come in. Anyways, so yes, he caught me fresh out of the shower with a draft.
No. You were walking around the apartment naked one time, and it was really hot.
Wow, I bet you would think it's hot, dude.
Yeah, no.
I bet you thought
no,
that's
the
hot.
apartment,
Let's
the
see.
heater was on. The heater was
Freudian
on,
slip.
and you said it was cold.
Tasha's seen
That's how I know.
Tasha's seen my small dick before. You've seen my small dick, but not
You
often.
mean cold dick?
I'm talking like but I'm talking like you not cold or like you just been you sit in the right way where it's kind of like recoiled like
sitting in
like
a chair
like
right now.
Yeah, like if you saw my dick right now, you would not be
Think
turned
you're
on
a man.
at all. There's
Yeah.
no like
I'm not a
fucking
man
fear
right now.
involved. But like guys can it's about the presentation of it all, right? Like, but you probably didn't see that for 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd only see what I wanted to show you. Like that's like Instagram. Like
I would
Yeah, you
never
have to
let
be
a woman
protective
see
of
me
that.
sitting down naked. No, absolutely
Because, yeah, if you're
not.
doing-
Oh no,
No,
not-
never.
no,
I will
no.
throw a fucking napkin over it
Yeah.
before.
no, it looks like a peanut shell.
what if every chick had to see you sitting Indian style for the first time?
Oh my god,
Just-
repugnant.
I mean, you
dude.
could have a boner Indian style, but chances
Oh,
are
no.
you're probably.
It looks
you
like a
have to suck
tiny.
in
It
your
looks like a
belly, too.
tiny little
Oh.
hacky sack, like your
Oh,
ball,
yeah.
your nutsack. When
Yeah,
you
there's
sit
an
Indian
acorn
style, it's
sitting.
just-
There's an
yeah.
acorn sitting on a walnut. That's
Wait,
Or
what
yeah,
it
when-
looks
or
or like when Tasha's seen me, like when you're in saggy ball, like territory, and you're just like, what the fuck, like I'll be like sitting down with my like boxers on, and like a piece of a ball will like fall
piece
out,
of a ball.
a piece of a.
piece of a ball.
piece
you
of
did a piece
cocaine.
of coke.
But I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. What the fuck? I'm like, Well,
What do you want me to do?
If part of her if she had a thong on and you could see some of her labia, I would be like, "What the fuck is that?" I just okay, it's not all pieced together, but I get it. It's
like
fine.
a good boyfriend, you go over there and you nibble on it.
Yeah, that's what you do. Like a good boyfriend, you nibble on it. Are we going to talk about this happy tea or what?
Sure, you can talk about it.
You talk about it. What
I'll
is
fucking
it? You've been
talk
sitting
about
right
it.
here.
Do you guys want some?
You got to do a read. Do you guys have to do a read?
Give him a
We
sip.
don't have to do a read. Well, you can sip out of my.
I like
I'll just
how
get
yellow
you a new
it
cup.
is.
It's just a water booster.
Oh.
It's-
Well, how about I put it in my water booster?
I'll put
right
it in
now?
the look.
Hemp extract.
Yeah, it's CBD.
Am I going to get tired?
No.
It's not
Promise?
psychoactive.
Yeah, it doesn't mess you up at all. It's just CBD.
I know it's
supposed
CBD
to,
is supposed to kind of relax you a
yeah,
little bit. But,
like anti-anxiety, anti-inflammation. I'll get you a real water if you want.
I can dump it in here. Thank you. I'm actually pretty excited about
It's
this.
10 milligrams of natural hemp extract. Study for possible benefits, effects on stress, anxiety, and inflammation. Unlike cannabis, hemp doesn't have THC.
Nope, didn't know I was going to do that. Sorry.
Give him
Okay,
that.
here you
as,
go.
as I said, he's Down syndrome adjacent.
Yeah.
Take it.
I guess we've learned not to pour it into carbonated beverage, which is fine. Yeah, but Tasha, it's a new thing Tasha's trying out, which is good because Tasha, I mean, you should have your own podcast that explores anxiety because it's just fascinating to me how some people deal with adversity, and I don't mean this to shit on you. I don't mean this to shit on you, but you know what I mean? I think honestly, sometimes
Griff's like Rain Man, but without the intelligence. Anyways,
He's used that one so many times.
no, that's literally the first time I ever said it, but I will use it again.
Nah, he's used that
Sorry,
every
go
day.
ahead. I don't anxiety. I don't know.
do you guys get anxiety?
No.
It's just such a crippling thing to think of how you deal with the fight or flight. I played in kind of sports my whole life, so I'll get anxiety, but I'll also be like, let's fucking fix this now. Let's not boil over it.
I think though what I'm realizing is that this sort of anxiety, I never had anxiety until I got Lyme.
Until she started dating me,
Yeah,
It all
now I
came at
have
once.
anxiety.
I started dating a comic.
How do you get Lyme disease? Don't you get that from ticks?
Yeah, fucking
You
tick.
guys have ticks in this
I
apartment?
got bit by a tick.
Oh,
in
she
Griffith
killed my
Park.
grandpa.
Holy
in Griffith
shit.
Park.
My grandpa got Rocky Mountain fever, killed him.
People get
Yeah.
Parkinson's from it.
You're kidding me.
No, my grandpa died from a tick.
Neurological
My
problems.
cousin
That's a
Greg has
badass
the
way
Rocky
to go
Mountain
out.
spotted fever.
No shit. You got to be
Yeah.
from Oklahoma to die from Rocky Mountain fever. You know
I
what
had to
I mean?
ask my mom. I
That's-
was
Look
like,
at all,
"Is there more
look
to
at all the pills. Look at all the
sounds like
pills
a
over there,
cartoon.
and look at all these pills she has to take. All to battle what came out of a tick's asshole, or however it
That's
works.
crazy.
It came out of its mouth.
That's what
But-
Griff takes.
Is
to
it permanent?
mitigate
She's
his
got the
HIV.
worst version of it.
Fuck
and
ticks,
she
man.
works on her feet all day long. So some people can't even do yoga because they're in so much pain, and she's dealing with it all. But
Damn.
neurologically, for the few years she had it and didn't know she had it, I mean that's a lot of shit. So I'm
So
not trying to judge
basically-
you for your anxiety, but it's it is a part
well,
of
but
your.
I think that's what I'm trying to explain is that it's sort of above and beyond normal anxiety. I think when you have and I don't want to speak for everybody who has anxiety, but I think when it's just anxiety, it's something that you can sort of learn to harness and
like
deal with,
depression.
and you can kind of mold it into something else. Yeah, I was always more on the
You learn to
depressive
deal with
scale
it.
of things
Yeah,
in
yeah,
my
me too.
life than an
Try it on that
anxious
side.
person.
You don't get rid of it, but you learn to deal with it.
Yeah, but this, so I have
Good, right?
2 strains of Lyme, Babesia, and Bartonella, a bunch of co-infections like Rocky Mountain spotted
Like
fever
malaria.
that usually
The
come
light
with
version of that.
it's a cousin to malaria, correct?
Babesia.
It's not treatable. That's crazy.
Well, it is treatable,
Curable,
but
curable, sorry.
right, you'll go into remission. You get the bacteria to a low enough level in your body that your immune system can handle it on its own.
and
know
it's
what-
not
you know what's-
contagious
that's the
at
goal.
all.
You know what's crazy?
Can't spread it.
No, you get bit by a tick, and I guess it's contagious that way. You would have to infect somebody else's blood.
You could infect me, but I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and there's some evidence to support that.
If he had a cut on his arm and you had a cut, and you
Put it this way: if I had Lyme, she would be like, "I'm not fucking you."
You'd be using condoms.
Put on a condom.
Right? If I had Lyme, you'd want. Are you telling the whole world we don't use condoms? Is that the image?
All right, this is a separate conversation, but a different day. But I think that the Babesia anxiety is a little more of a physical manifestation.
If you have Lyme,
it
I have
makes
Speaking
my
of guys
body
that don't use
upset.
condoms, oh, maybe we should bring that up.
Raw dog Mitchell.
The gay community in the late 70s?
No,
Listen, if you're in your
no.
30s
Oh,
and
he
you
wants to avoid
no,
it.
don't use condoms
No, I
in your
don't-
30s.
I don't really fuck
You
with
made
Oh,
it.
should we
Yeah,
talk
no.
about that?
No,
or-
sure,
or do
yeah.
you wanna
I
know?
have no... I
What's
don't-
your condom preference? When did you stop using condoms?
my condom
we
preference?
should get to his last
Hold
time
on.
he didn't
Quit
use
stepping on my punchline. I was going to say...
You don't have any
I was
punchlines.
going to say broken. He said, "What's your condom preference?" I was going to say broken.
I like it.
Anyways, it was good.
I'll edit it in so it sounds.
Hold on, let's do it again.
You should edit it.
What's your comedy? What's your condom preference?
Broken, Dave. Anyways, good. Thanks for laughing.
Was it funny the second time?
By the way,
try
Tasha,
one.
you say she works on her feet all day. She's sitting right now. I just want to point that out. I'm not complaining.
That's
but
true. That's
I'd be
true.
more
She is
comfortable if
sitting.
you were standing and really putting an effort into this.
But you know what?
I don't use condoms.
Finding out Tasha had Lyme was a big deal. Obviously, I don't want her to have Lyme, but it at least showed me that some of the things she has. Because I'll be honest with Tasha and with you guys. I've been worried to be like, holy shit. Like, I'm not saying I'm walking on eggshells, but some things bother her in a way I don't think they should. And I think that when you're dealing with something inside of you that's like literally undiagnosed and untreated, it was like, oh, what a breath of fresh air to find out that we can actually pinpoint this and try to treat it. So I'm excited for the CBD because the hardest part about CBD is you don't feel anything. So like you take a CBD here and there and you're like, is it working? But like you're going to take this every day and like just, you know what I mean? Like there's...
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way that they say that CBD works. And like I've been doing the CBD drops for a while, kind of trying to manage the same thing, the anxiety and like inflammation and stuff. And I notice that on days when I don't take it, I have worse headaches. So like that's the only way I can tell that it's working. Like you don't really feel it when you take it.
Have you heard of beta blockers at all? It's like supposed to like get rid of all nerves.
Oh, I thought you said all nerds. I'm like, God, wish you'd told me that before I started
for
alt
East
comedy.
Hollywood. The Silver Lake
Jesus,
Lounge.
fucking beta blockers. Yeah, fucking good comedy. A punchline. That'll be a fucking
Those
beta blocker.
soy boy fucks.
Fucking
No, but
boys.
imagine if you had never. I mean, you know, it's not that nerves are a bad thing, but like, you know, imagine if you didn't give one fuck at all. And I know it's like we always say like you don't give a fuck, but like, you know, you got a big show, whatever. It always seems like the best shows are the ones where you literally don't give a fuck, and then it's a good audience. But sometimes it's like you can't help but give a fuck.
You have your best sets, I think.
It depends. You're both right in certain ways. But
sometimes if I'm high, I'm slowing down a little bit, and I'm like funny because I'm breathing.
I've noticed when I'm tired. Like when I'm on the way to do a road gig or something, and when I'm a little like when I'm like, I just want to get this over with, but I'm like, nah. You know, when I have that apathy that is created by fatigue, I actually have good sets because I do slow down.
You do,
and I don't seem to care, and I give this little wink to the crowd, like I'm better than you.
Yeah, you lean
know?
up against the wall. You do all the, you know what I mean. You're showing them.
I don't lean. I have the stamina to stand up straight. You know what I mean? But
it's sort of like when
your posture is the worst. So
I know. Jack Senior even pointed that out the other night. He was like, "Buddy, may I give you a tip? You're very funny. Listen, can I give you a tip? You have to stand up straight, man."
He's Irish. I don't know what that accent. No, I'm kidding. But
He's Irish.
You need one of those bars.
Irish
You need that dance bar that you hold on.
They
to.
actually make those now. The little things that you stick
The vibrate on your back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get one.
Is it because you're so tall?
can't
You're
afford
like
it.
Yes, and I've always felt like I have to shrink to hear. You know what I mean?
where
'Cause tall
short guys are always like up here trying to talk to the ceiling.
Exactly.
It's
You might have
actually
a
a
bit there.
disadvantage.
You might have a bit
You might have a
there.
bit
Yeah,
there.
It is, dude. It's a total disadvantage. When people don't understand, when you're tall, really, when you're above like 6'2", you're gigantic, this whole world is happening below you. And you're kind of left out. You're like, what are they talking about?
But imagine like
what are the peasants? What are the peasants discussing?
Imagine like Jay Hollingsworth. 'Cause
Baguettes. Sorry,
he's Jay Hollingsworth's 100 pounds heavier than you. Right, so he's got to deal with his height, and he's 15
calling
years
him
older
out.
than you. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's a big guy. And like to think like even like Ralphie May used to want to be on a tour bus because he couldn't do planes.
Right.
Like, Jesus
God, think
Christ.
about that shit,
no,
dude.
but you just have the height, which is a
Yeah.
big thing. And
Yeah.
Griff and I we're right in that median.
hey, you
fucking
guys are
zone.
just
happy.
ordinary
I'm happy
guys.
for
Yeah, like if we had to commute to
Griff's
San
not
Diego for shows together, we could really fit perfectly in that little Toyota of mine. Anyway, folks.
Talk about a Sears catalog. You too.
We'll get out of here, but Griff, I wanted to ask you before. So, like, what's the future with this girlfriend? Are you talking like? You're at 3 months? Are you starting to like? You have even like
planning trips together and stuff like that. You know, you can't plan too far.
Where are
ahead.
you going? Is birthday
San
trip?
Diego.
Or are you
birthday
doing
trip? San Diego,
Okay.
like 3 days, pretty much.
will that be your first trip away?
Yep.
That's exciting.
It'll be fun.
Who
Road
does she
trips
live
are
with?
fun.
She have roommates?
What's that? No, she's got her own place.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she's moving.
So she's.
Is she moving?
Yeah.
She's moving into her own place.
Yes.
So that gives you the option to move in with her eventually. Is she guarded about that, or is that not?
We haven't had that conversation. I just know I just moved into a place and helped her find a place in West Hollywood. So
who you living
we're very close to
Are
each
you
other.
with
I have a
comics?
single.
Oh, you got a single.
Yeah, I
live
have
in
a
the same
studio.
building.
I have a studio.
When we were looking for spots, I found this place, and I was like, Griff, they have other units available. Jump on it.
Yeah.
So now we live. It's like living in the dorms. He lives one floor down.
Well, you got to keep
That
an
sounds
eye.
fun.
I was trying to nap the other day. This motherfucker was brilliant. I got to hand it to him. Fucking as soon as I nod off, it's the most beautiful fucking nap. I hear just a boom, 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 boom on the door, and he runs off. And I ran out of the fucking. I ran out trying to grab him or something. Yeah, it was a good prank. It was good.
I think you guys need to fuck. I think that's what we're getting to. I think we got a little bit of.
It's so fun.
repressed.
It's so nice to have a friend in your building. I had to like call my friend that lives.
It's not that nice.
he's not a
I could do
friend.
without it. I could do without
We
it.
have crackheads in our building, so those
Yeah,
can be
yeah,
my
yeah,
friends.
dude.
It'd
Yeah,
be
we got
great
some
though if we
transients.
all lived in the same building together and we had like some of Tasha's model friends and like and then like some of us. You know, it'd be just nice to be like,
Yeah.
hey, we're watching Netflix, and then people would come
Right.
in.
We should buy a
Yeah,
building
naked.
and turn it into
Yeah.
like the
Totally,
most
of
fun building
course
ever.
That'd be great. You know what?
Yeah, for
Honestly,
sure.
we would have the purchasing power if like you did collectively get like, all right, get your whatever, and if you could just afford that, you know what I mean? Because of rent, we're paying for someone else to do it.
back in the day, you could just take out. If this was 40 years ago, you could just go to a bank and get a loan and buy a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
Jesus.
if
What Trump did.
if the big earthquake comes and everything goes down 50%, that's when we rush in and we
Dude,
buy.
a comedy club on the first floor. We live upstairs. You sell
Yeah.
some other shit. Dispensary, weed's legal. You know what I mean? Like you fucking
brothel,
Do
or
like
house.
retail space on the first floor.
Yeah, we're shooting stuff. We got a production facility because that's my thing in 2019.
Heroin.
Dude, I'm shooting projects. I got a pilot. I'm shooting it. It's happening. I'm excited about
Nice,
it. I used to
nice.
before I got into stand up. I used to just shoot sketches because before you have the balls to like try stand up or even I didn't even knew it was an option. You know, you see Chris Rock, you see his hour special, and you go, I couldn't do that. But then
Right,
once you go to an
right.
open mic, you go, I can do that. But you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
we weren't
Yeah.
exposed to it. The YouTube
That's right.
thing wasn't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. But so I was just doing sketches, shooting like I've shot like 50 pages of that shit. I'm like, I gotta go make my own short. And like, these guys who the show Corporate or Workaholics,
Yeah.
like all these
Yeah.
guys, they're
Yep.
just like us. They just put the idea on paper. So if you guys ever want to collaborate, I'll hold a boom pole. Like that's what it's all about. Like I'm always in constant search of like that team. And it's with stand-up, we're all alone on stage, but we have the camaraderie that I don't think many other
No one
performers
has done
have.
anything
Right.
alone.
Like Tasha's like part of like with modeling, and unfortunately, aside from Christmas parties, you're looking at me all weird. I always bring this up, but like you don't have the camaraderie. It's like
I
you
just
get the
don't think
job
that's
or she
true.
gets the job.
Yeah, sure.
Like modeling is going to be cutthroat women that hate each other.
I mean, it can be, but I think it's just the same as stand up. Like, there's going to be people that you really vibe with, and then there's going to be people that you don't
Clicky.
vibe with. Yeah. And like, once you find the people that you really like, that's great. And my girlfriends hook me up with jobs all the time. Jay just got me a job for Joe's Jeans next week.
It's probably really parallel to comic. Like there is
Yeah.
a sense of people helping each other out, but there's also this cutthroat competitiveness.
Well,
and
I
there's
always
also clicky.
compare like strippers more than models. Strippers in comics are
Well,
very
that's a real art form.
Well, I mean, it kind of is to a point. Dancing,
They're doing way better than us.
Yeah,
they
they
are. Let's face it.
but that's the thing. Is like the
dude,
longer
I
we
did.
do
I
it.
stripped for money and
Yeah, I
made
saw
way
that.
more money. Than
it was
I
on
did as a
YouTube.
comic. Yeah, I stripped and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, what do people have to search to find that? If they want their search history.
It's one of the most shameful things I've ever seen.
No, it's not.
And you didn't blur
No,
out
it
the
wasn't.
females aren't blurred out.
The
right?
faces are. No, I had to
yeah?
go back. No, it's not.
Oh, did you really?
No, it's not.
No, it is.
It is not. It's hot.
It's
The
one of
funny
those
thing is
stories.
it's
It's one of those stories.
Okay, and I would not normally say that about anything I do, but no, it was hot.
Griff's a very good stand-up. This is a story, Griff, that you tell after you've made it, and and you're on some like morning radio station in Tampa.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What's the worst gig you've ever
Yeah.
had?" Then you refer them to the stripper
Yeah.
gig. You don't tell it right now.
Fun.
You don't
I
try
don't
to
say
pitch
worse,
it
I
right
say
now.
Wait,
one of
was
the
it
most fun.
stand up and stripping?
I did stand up first, came back dressed as a cop and knocked on the door and just went to town on these ladies, and they all loved it.
Was
And
it
there
like a
whipped
private
cream.
party?
Yeah, it was
Or
a little
like-
private in the living room.
Okay.
And there was whipped cream. It was a divorce party.
As you might imagine.
Yeah,
Right.
and there was whipped cream and spanking, and I made
He's not
way
the guy.
more money than I do at stand up.
You could make like a side gig out of that.
We've thought about
Well,
it.
I think you just go straight to male
This is
prostitution.
it.
You know what I mean?
Hired to strip at a divorce party.
Yeah, you're playing it.
No experience. Well, I don't want to get tripped off things, so I can't play the music. But and then there he is. You see him dancing?
Yeah, I fucking,
Oh, they're all cheering for him.
Can't bear.
yeah, they're into it.
Yeah, they're into it. They're bouncing. He's showing all their asses. It's called Comedian Strips at Divorce Party. There he
I like your cop outfit.
He's got a cop outfit on.
Yeah.
All right, that's all people get. They can go see
Yeah,
the
that's
rest
a
of it.
teaser.
But that your stripping was the way you do crowd work, where you're just like you'll talk your way into a bit. You're
Yeah.
like talking to them
Yeah.
as you're like doing it. Yeah,
There's parallels.
But yeah, you're right. There's a lot to this freelance sort of performing lifestyle where it's like no one's gonna assign us to a corporate group to work with. We have to find that ourselves. We have to find like the people that we trust. Like
find the Dave Neals and the Tasha.
Well, if I found out I was on a stand-up show and I look and it's got Griff, Johnny, and it's like a couple other whoever's, I'm like, fuck yeah,
it's awesome.
I'm gonna go drive an hour or wherever it is, and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna be at my office at a new place.
You're amped to hang out with your friends.
Imagine a Conan showcase or a Just for Laughs showcase with like all your to be all your close buddies.
Right.
I think we would all do better because we're in such a great mood.
We would if we. But I don't feel like that world exists anymore. Like you hear about these New York guys and these guys of yesteryear, and they're like, remember when we already had an HBO? Remember we were all at an HBO showcase or whatever? They don't really have those anymore. Like you're either in the industry or you're doing your own thing.
Well, like, what's different now that maybe is to your advantage is that everything is self-produced these days. Like you could just shoot one yourself and sell it to Netflix.
That's what some people do.
They're just buying up shit all left and right.
I wish it were that easy, but
but it's the podcast community, right? So I don't have a huge following, but if I did, you guys would get some followers from, or you will, but like you'd get, you know what I mean? Like you'd get heat from this.
But that's what I mean.
And we just grow together.
That's what I'm talking about. Like you see Santino and Theo Vaughn and Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia, and they're all always promoting each other.
Yeah.
They're always fucking with each other. So, but one guy needs to break through first. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's hard when everybody's poor. You can't lift each other up.
I hear you.
I mean? But it's a little trickle down economics that we need right here.
I know what you're
saying. It's only a matter of time.
You just got to look at the.
I agree. I'm not saying I'm just saying we got.
You got to look at the equity, the equity that you've put into your stage time, like the amount of quote unquote savings account that you have with your stand up, and it's worth more than
savings account. $600.
I mean, imagine if you had.
This guy's never sniffed a 401k.
Imagine if you had $50,000 in your savings account. I'm telling you,
I had $250,000 buried in my parents' garden at one point. Anyways, that's a different story. Sorry.
Fuck.
Wait, but did they find it?
Most of it. Not in the garden. It was, I'd move it around and shit, right? Like I would have bundles. I'd have 50 grand. My mom, I'll tell a quick anecdote. I had 20 grand that I was waiting to move, right? 20 wrapped up in bricks, $1,000 bricks, right? 20 grand in like a brick. It looked like that. I duct taped it. I didn't have anything. I was at my parents' house. I think it was house sitting or something. So I'm like, okay, I got to stash this somewhere just for a couple of days. So I duct taped it below my parents' sink in their bathroom, right? God, it must have fallen down.
Condensation.
My mom was cleaning. Okay, this is why you always get a Latina cleaning lady. They don't throw anything away.
And they don't snitch.
Exactly. She found it, this big duct tape lump, right? A brick. She fucking threw it away. She threw it in the garbage.
I don't buy that. Oh, yeah, you
100%.
How much money?
20 racks.
And you never found it? It was gone?
No, it's in a landfill somewhere.
That hurts my
Guys,
asshole.
we need to wait a second.
Yeah. I got to put that in the book.
That hurts my... we need to go find it. That's worth paying for the flight to go find it.
Well, the point of what I was saying is that
I used to do a joke about that. I used to say, God, when I told that story, I'm like, Mom, I never thought the first woman I hit would be my own mother.
Listen, you're worth more than $250,000 buried in your backyard. Do you know what I mean? Like your stand-up, Griff, too. Like what you guys will make in the future from producing, directing, writing, and starring in your own stand-up comedy is worth more than that. It's just I understand you still got to pay your bills. I'm still trying to afford an engagement ring. I'm getting there. I got fired 2 days before Christmas. I was doing a very well-paying job, and I was like honestly by the end of January I'll have cash to buy an engagement ring, and now I'm trying to get a job. But them's the ropes, Tasha. Them's the ropes.
Are you guys getting hitched?
I mean, I don't.
Take your time.
What if I did it right now?
Wow.
She says that.
That was.
But does it look like I'm taking my time? Does it look like?
Yes, we've been dating for 5 years.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm working with?
Yeah,
but
put up or shut up. Even I know that.
What if I just? This is a patreon.com/ No, but does it look like I'm taking my time? We're on a Saturday hustling, trying to get monetization done with this. I do Bachelor recap videos to make $3 on the monet. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not willing to. Like I know I'm worth more talking through a microphone than I'll ever be worth in a desk. You know what I mean? Somewhere.
Tasha, you better hope you're on an IUD. Okay. Anyways, Dave, he's talking about $3. Anyways, I'm kidding.
Anyway, no. What I'm saying is, and you guys understand. You
while you're working.
We're okay. We talk about it all the time.
You should make songs for the commercials.
I'm okay.
Give me happy tea, and I'll be happy. Fuck your anxiety with happy tea.
Oh my god, that was so good,
guys gonna
and
find me-
I really hope that I'm gonna post
Griff's
that on my
secretly
Instagram
clamoring
from that
to
video.
do that on stage. Anyways,
See if it's still recording.
You
Sometimes
just
it
don't
shuts off.
Don't
to
give
die
away
in a plane crash.
Don't give away your closer.
God,
big
I
guy.
want you to die in a plane
Pacific
crash.
Explorer says sign a prenup.
Sign a prenup. Yeah, I'll sign a prenup because I'm going to be making all the money, and
Yeah.
then that's the thing.
That's what happened to Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. Like, he was worth all the money in the beginning, and he made her
Right.
sign a prenup, and now she's worth like a gazillion.
Right.
No,
and
she's
he's
almost
like,
a billionaire,
yeah,
dude.
she's
worth
insane.
like well over $500 million.
So much
Listen,
money.
right.
She
And
has
so-
her own
and-
fashion line,
yeah.
home decor,
Right.
babies, shoes.
Right.
She's
And let's not forget
loaded.
how talented she is too. Right?
Oh man, how
Griff
many
always
times have you
brags-
jacked off to that music video for washing the car?
Griff always brags about people's money. It's really nauseating. Okay, he brags about this comedian Gary Owen. Okay, he came home. He tried to like sell this comic to me.
I'm selling how much money
He's a road
making.
guy, right?
I'm selling how much
yes, he's a
money
road
he's
guy.
making.
He's a white
That's
guy
right.
that
I'm not
plays-
selling him as a comic.
No, I know.
He
very clear
plays all the
about
black
that.
rooms as a white guy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
He kills it in the black rooms.
Yes, he you know the bits he's doing in 2019, shamelessly, I might add. Black people do Thanksgiving like this. White people do Thanksgiving like this. Gee, my mind is blown. Thanks, Gary.
Well, Gary's on
Thanks,
our Martin
Gary.
Luther King episode, so that's
I don't
gonna
give a
have to be
fuck. I
deleted.
don't give a fuck. Tell,
this is all
tell
gonna get
Gary
edited
I have
out.
beef. Tell Gary I have beef.
We're going to edit out
I'm the
everything you've
motherfucker.
said today.
I know way more about black people than fucking Gary Owen, dude.
Listen, I understand what you're
Oh,
saying.
I bet you do, big guy. You getting worked up there, big guy?
But
you all right?
but isn't it crazy that
Chris was
isn't it
touching my
crazy
leg
that
the whole
value, artistic value, is tied into how much money people make, and some people went viral on YouTube, and they literally and I can't be bitter against. It's just that's just how it was. Some people
But
went
don't you
viral
think
and they
that it all
suck.
sort of like evens out in the end?
Yeah, but that's why I'm going to take that fucking prenup and shove it up your ass because I'm going to show you how successful I'm going to be. Like we just watched the movie Vice and it's Dick Cheney, but Dick Cheney's wife, like early on, is like, "You're not going to be anything. You better." And then he's a fucking psycho megalomaniac, and like that's what you're creating right now, babe. I'm going to have a fucking podcast
not my
empire.
fault.
You're going to be fat because I'm just going to feed you nonstop.
I gotta say this is kind of adorable. They
Yeah.
are like the
Yeah.
John. They're a good couple.
So I'll say
They're
this.
good
I'll
together.
just say this.
That's why
I'm
this is
happy
fun to be a part of
I always
this.
like to. I have to defend myself because I don't want other comics to be like, "Hey, you guys are weird." Because I'll tell you this: comics that you know, I don't know if you know, told me why my relationship wasn't going to last, and they don't know a thing about it.
I told Griff the same thing.
Yeah,
But
comics sit around and do that.
But they told me that to my face, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Why are you?"
I told that to his face.
No. Somebody, I'll tell you who after. I'll tell you,
all right,
or
all
I
right.
can whisper it to you right now. You know, I'll whisper it to you because it's okay.
Oh, the intrigue. I don't even know who this is.
Apple, yeah.
I don't
That
even
doesn't- that
know.
doesn't mean shit.
I don't
That
even
doesn't
know
mean
that comic. And I was like, and she was like, she's like, I don't want to give it away who it is. But I was like, wow, thanks. And she was like, sorry, is that weird that I'm telling you that? I'm like,
she's not a factor though.
I wasn't
You
gonna
know
say
what I
the
mean?
gender,
she's
but
not a factor. Like you only, and you really shouldn't listen to any comedians, but you should only listen to those that are going to be relevant.
But what I did is I went
know?
home and I hugged my girlfriend because I was like, I appreciate you, and I wanted you to know that because I was like, imagine some stranger projecting, and like some stranger just projecting their shit on me. That's all it was. Like they've only seen what I've talked about on stage. Clearly, I'm making fun of you on stage. I'm not like I love my girlfriend. Sometimes we have sex and hug. You know what the fuck? Or like whether it's whatever.
Throw a beer at
You got to remember though that like everybody you meet is gonna have their own issues and ulterior motives, and like I've sort of gone through life with this like halo of like, oh, everyone's nice, and like when people are nice to you, they
But
just
that's what happens when
genuinely
you grow
want
up
to
on
be
a
your friend.
Kentucky horse farm. You know what I mean?
But I think like we're watching this show, and you're like, oh yeah, this girl's friend, like, they're frenemies, they're not really friends, and this guy's a stalker, and like all this stuff, and you realize that there actually is not like CW level, but there's like intrigue in the world where like your friends like you, but sometimes they're jealous of you,
Sure, totally,
and like sometimes they don't want you to fail, but sometimes they maybe are jealous and they wish that
I am genuinely not jealous of Griff in the least.
No, but
and that's not even to knock his. I'm not knocking him. I'm saying like he could get anything, and I'd be happy for him.
Yeah.
And there's maybe five
these
people
are
I feel like
lies.
with.
These are
no, that's
lies.
not. No. Look, and
His eyes are darting around the room.
I mean, even Dave, like when I work with a brand like Happy Tea or whatever, he's like, well, they want to sponsor the podcast, and it's like, Sure, yes.
I didn't ask
but,
that.
No, but like that's.
I was doing
that's
this
sort
pro
of
bono. I'm giving you
always-
this. I'm giving you
no,
this
but that's
airtime.
like always the thing, right? It's like yes, you're happy for me, but there's another factor to it that like you kind of wish that you had that too.
Well, I also know if this shit gets off the ground, I don't need my 40-hour-a-week side jobs. I don't mean that in a place of limitation, but the amount of time and
It
energy
doesn't
I
sound
spend.
like a side job, Dave. That sounds like a full-time job.
That's what I'm saying. I spend
Like Van Johnny's roommate.
I spend full-time job energy doing the side hustle.
Gary.
And what I'm trying to do in 2019 is sleep more. I'm trying to sleep more because creativity just comes when you can get, like, God forbid you get 7 or 8
the other way
hours.
around.
or you gotta meditate.
Yeah.
If you don't have time
I mean,
to
but-
sleep.
Oh, do you meditate, big guy?
Try to. But then it always turns
always get a
into
boner.
it always turns into a jerk session. You know what I mean?
There's a crackhead.
wait, do you have an app?
Yeah, just
YouPorn.
YouTube. Yeah, the sounds of
He does his YouTube and he's just right in the middle in the zone, and then an ad comes on for grills.
Hey, you know what I
I
like?
search Funny Women Festival and jerk off to female comedians.
You know, guys. I got to be honest. You know, my meditation app is the 9/11 Black Box. That's what I like.
Jesus Christ. Bomb.
No one like that. All right.
I really
that
want
joke into a
I want
building.
that Malaysian Airlines black box. Didn't they find something?
Oh my god.
I'm not into black box, but I don't judge others.
I like black box. What do you got against?
Yeah, why
fucking
not?
black
Nothing at
girls,
all.
dude?
Nothing at all.
Yeah,
Hour 25. We should get out of here.
loves.
What do you guys want to promote? Come back anytime you guys want. I know,
Thanks,
John, you were
man.
on like probably a year and a half ago or so, maybe like
I
that.
think it was longer than
I'll
that,
put the episode
I'm
number
sure
in
it
the
was longer than
description
that.
because I don't know which it was.
I
And
think
Griff,
it
you were
was-
here probably relatively as long ago. So come back whenever you
Yeah.
want. I
Oh,
love it
absolutely.
when
We had a great
it's
time.
when it's our regulars come back. It's better than meeting new. I hate meeting new people and they're on the pod and we're like, and there's the thing, and I always feel like I'm. That's what gives me anxiety is new people in the house.
But that's how you get to know people.
Yeah.
It's
It's part of-
podcasting.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not through like doing it.
Dude, you guys are episode 323. Like I've pretty much podcasted. I could run a comedy show for 4 months straight with different comedians, all that have been on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I'd love to get to this to the point. That's why I'm going to promote it more heavily in LA specifically because I want to run a show in LA with only guests that have been on the podcast. We did it once
Do you think
before.
that could work? Do you think you'd actually have a draw if you guys did a show?
I
in
think
LA?
if I focused, we did one show and I gave away a bunch of sex toys that were given to us and shit. And we actually had one of the comics ended up banging one of the podcast listeners after the show.
That's great. That's going to be me on our next show.
Yeah. I'd be
Tosh,
happy
do
to
you
get
wanna-
you laid.
Griff is touching my leg right now. He's a latent homosexual, but he's cool with that. He's comfortable with that. Where I grew up, you don't fucking do that. That's gay shit. You know what I mean?
I'm from Oklahoma. You think it's any more
but that's
appropriate there?
you were suppressed for so long. You know what I mean? It's like
Griff sitting on
Catholic
someone's lap on a tractor somewhere.
church. Exactly.
All right, where's social media? At Griff Pippin.
Huh?
At the Johnny
at
Mitchell. the
J
comic.
Mitchell
At
comic.
Johnny Mitchell comic.
J
Is that what it is?
Mitchell.
At
J
Johnny Mitchell.
Hold on, give me
comic?
something to write this down with.
I have it written down.
Okay, got it. At J Mitchell comic.
Johnny
J
Mitchell
Mitchell
comic.
comic. Okay.
And this'll be
2 L's
our-
in Mitchell.
Listen, folks.
3 L's?
Change that. 2 L's in Mitchell.
so one L.
We listen, guys. See the SAP sign I created in front of you. I hand painted that. Pretty good, right?
Damn.
I mean, I stenciled it, but not
SAP.
bad. So we've changed the name of the podcast from the Sex Actually Podcast to the SAP. Partly because it's simpler, but also because a lot of people don't want to share shit on Facebook and things like that with sex in the title. We're open about it, but not the rest of the world isn't. So it's called the SAP. You've got no reason not to share it. Do us all a solid. Share it with all your friends wherever it needs to go. And I was thinking
Yeah.
we'd call our our listeners saplings. That's pretty cheesy, right? Saplings.
I like it though.
Right?
I don't know, but I bet your listeners would dig that. You know what I mean? Like they're probably like, "Oh,
wow, that was just
pun."
a
You know
jab.
what I mean? No,
But
but
your
you have to.
listeners-
But
you
your
have to
Play the
little, like-
retards, dude. You have
Wow,
to.
you're a
Like,
You can use that
scumbag.
little
Absolutely.
like sprout emoji.
right.
Yeah, and we could actually sell seeds. Like we'll sell seeds, and then they can
you
plant
guys
their own.
definitely need a product you can consistently move on
Yeah,
here. You
and
know
it's
what I mean?
probably
We'll figure that out.
well, we got
This
the
guy knows
soap,
a thing
but
or
soap's
two.
not a high return on it, but like other merch would be.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back here, maybe even before that, but I'm going to come back here and plug my book and my podcast when it's ready.
When do you think
Yeah,
the book's
that would
coming
be
out?
awesome.
Finish
6
that.
months.
So
Yeah.
can you
I'll
give
come
us a
out.
little brief what
Yeah,
it's about?
yeah. It's the title's still a working title, but it's about basically my autobiography. It's a thinly fictionalized account of me coming up in Portland and selling drugs from a young age and blowing that business up and becoming a trafficker and then going to prison and how that led me to stand up comedy in LA.
I like it.
Good.
And
It's good. So we have
It's gonna be
interviews.
very
We
compelling.
have interviews. We have phone calls with people that I was in prison with from prison that are doing life.
We don't have enough white
Like
man
recordings
stories out
of
there,
it?
so this is good.
You have the actual things?
Yeah,
like the actual
yeah.
recording?
Yeah, we have. I have interviews with dudes that I was locked up with. I have interviews with my old connects.
And that's what the podcast is going to center around?
It's going to be an audio podcast, but that's going to be the abridged form. Is me translating the script to the podcast, but I'm also going to have a physical book you
Dope.
can buy. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
So
That's so cool.
Yeah,
does road
so
gigs
come
in
back
Palm
on
Desert.
come back on the day that it's out so people can go download it and subscribe. That's how we work, listeners. You heard us from somebody else, you hit the subscribe button, and then you like our friends. You're with our tribe or you're not.
Yeah.
If you listen to this podcast and you're not subscribed, hit the fucking road, Jack. Get out. We
Yeah.
don't need you. Are you here for the long term? Are you going to listen to us now? And then when Johnny, Griff, and Dave go on the road to do comedy, Tasha's selling fucking merchandise out front, being like, "Are you done yet, babe?" And I'm like, "No, we're making fucking money right now. You want that ring and that house? You
Yeah,
live
it's
with
very
us on the
loud.
road."
hang on, hold on.
I'm getting
Hold on.
hard
It just
again.
came to me. Patreon, $50 a month. Subscribers get to see you guys fuck once a month. Once a month. That's it, dude.
And that's
I
just
would
a
literally,
2-minute video.
I'll be your first subscriber.
Yeah, Johnny's lonely. Oh,
I'm not even.
Or you can just get a ladder and come to our 3rd floor apartment. I shouldn't have said the exact. Okay, anyway, folks, we got to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being on the Valentine's
Yeah, it was a
episode. I
blast.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Tasha, Griff,
Thanks.
Johnny, and I'm Dave Neal.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
That was so fun. Bye.
Now we all fuck.
Sorry. Where are you wearing socks?
S.A.P. baby.
Oh my gosh, I probably have
I took brownies out of the oven.